We're live. Oh.
That fake creamer stuff is disgusting.
Isn't it? Right?
Like ruins
if you taste
coffee.
it on its own, it's okay. If you put it in anything, you're like, what is this garbage?
I can't drink that.
Your whole cup of coffee. Why would you? You're so weird. Why wouldn't you test it first? Like make a little bit and put it in. You love coffee. Coffee is your life's blood. And you're like, let me just dump this in this cup of coffee.
Well, what else am I going to do?
What I just said.
How do I make a little bit?
Well, you have a whole cup. Take like, I don't know, a little pour and put in a couple, like a spoonful of the crap. That's what I did. And I was like, oh, I'm not wasting a coffee.
Like my tongue feels funny too. Like,
is it a liquid or is it a powder? Or?
It's a liquid. It doesn't taste bad on its own. But you put it in the coffee and it's like, nope.
Yeah, nope. I wouldn't have made a test batch if it tastes fine on its own. I wouldn't have even thought of it.
I like smelled it. It smelled fine.
Right.
Man, the coffee professionals in here, I'm testing before I ruin a cup of my not coffee. My crap coffee, whatever you guys want to call it.
Instant. Just call it what it is. It's instant coffee.
Inferior coffee.
Whatever.
All right, let's do this. What do we got here? Okay. 3, 2, 1. Go Nintendo podcast, Webisode 880. Oh boy. Is that awfully quiet?
Yeah.
Can you hit me with any other sound?
No, that was just in your head.
That's quiet. The volume get bumped down by accident?
No, that's pretty.
You turn the volume up?
I did one. I mean, it's almost full. Let me do Josh.
What do you mean, let you do Josh? Josh, could you speak up, please?
Doesn't anyone care what I think?
I can't tell if it's quiet or not because of the fan going.
All right, well.
Great start to the show, everybody. We'll run with it and see what happens. Maybe it's the plug. Maybe the plug's not in all the way. That makes it.
I just have the volume all the way up, so
well,
it's hard to say what.
Now, what would happen that the volume would just randomly? So weird. Dracozolt. It's got to be Draco because it looks like a dragon. Sorry, MomBrain, you want to read the Pokemon?
Yeah, man.
Wow, you said yes. Sorry, I accidentally turned the phone off.
Pokemon 880 Dracozolt. In ancient times, Dracozolt was unbeatable thanks to its powerful lower body, but it went extinct anyway after it depleted all its plant-based food sources. That's a little close to home, huh? 5 feet 11 inches tall, 418.9 pounds. The gender is unknown. Category is fossil. I'm glad you got that. Abilities include Volt Absorb. If hit by an electric type move, the Pokemon has its HP restored instead of taking damage. And Hustle, which boosts the Pokemon's attack stats, but lowers its accuracy.
Hustle?
Loyalty.
Oh, she's got
and
it. And respect. Yeah, thanks, MomBrain. Sorry about the weird start to the show. I wasn't expecting there to be an issue with sound. But before we get into all the everything else, MomBrain's on it. Today's episode of the GoNintendo podcast is brought to you by Railway Empire 2. All aboard the hype train. Hit me with that whistle again. Get ready to build your own Railway Empire on the go with Railway Empire 2. Available now on the Switch. Oh boy. Guys, at the window. With Railway Empire. Oh my god. All right. Dude did this way better.
So exciting.
With Railway Empire 2, you'll be able to train your strategic skills and conduct your own railway empire with 60 of the most iconic, historically accurate locomotives from the golden age of railways. Railway Empire 2 offers new content, including improved track construction, a 5-chapter campaign, 14 scenarios, and free play mode. The Switch version is packaged with special in-game items and includes 2 exclusive locomotive skins, 3 station skins, a company HQ skin, and a digital soundtrack. With all these added features and immersive gameplay experience, you'll rarely be impressed. There we go. From the tracks to the trains, it's all up to you. You'll have to navigate tricky terrain, construct stations, and manage your resources to keep your trains running on time. Choose Railway Empire 2 today on Nintendo Switch to become the greatest portable railway tycoon. There goes. Goodbye. Goodbye, train. It's left the station. Thank you, Railway Empire.
Baby, lock the door and turn the lights down low.
We're too loud now. Clearly, we figured that out. Hit me with it again. You bumped it down like 2 or 3?
I did.
Baby, lock the
Better.
door and
All
turn the lights down low.
Thank you, Railway Empire 2, and whoever sings that. I never remember.
Is that Garth Brooks?
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to say Kenny Chesney, and that's probably wrong.
Oh, we got cats
What's going on?
in the Discord.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Let me say hello.
Yeah, can we give a special hello?
Nope, not yet. Please don't derail the show. First off, hi, MomBrain. It's MomBrain.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Tired. And Deux is here.
Ooh.
How are you doing today?
Well, thanks.
I
don't usually get a question after that, so I didn't know what to say.
Josh Grobot is here, as we've already heard. Josh, how's it going for you? How's the
I'm
weekend?
here to grace you with my presence. Hanging and banging.
We always appreciate it. Hanging and banging. George is here. George, how are you doing, my friend?
Buongiorno. Doing just lime.
Just lime, baby. And of course, hello to our Discord, 8-Bit Lego, Highly and Tom, Kufu, the Mummy, Guy Bones, Alternus, Liz, Malakalo, the Super Sanchez, Zikomudo, Nico Darunia, Sneaker Hacks, Knock on Wood. He's part of the hype train. I like that. Roth, whoever. Oh, we keep bumping down. Ice Dilbert. Thanks everybody who's joined us. Drake, good to see you. I really do appreciate you guys being here live every weekend to join in on this stupidity. I know you got busy weeks and probably other things to do or other things you want to do, but something in your heart tells you we got to go Nintendo podcast. I got to be there to support it. So thank you. That's right, Drake. Everyone is here. Very quickly.
Wait, I want to say a special hello.
Hi, Freddie Fro. Go ahead.
I want to say a special hi to the Super Sanchez, who seems to be not doing super great right now. So let's hope that whatever's going on, we can give you a little bit of a reprieve, maybe a little support, let you know you're not alone. We're all here and have all been or are presently miserable at some point in our life.
Yep.
So whatever it is, I hope you find somebody you can talk to and find a way that is healthy to make yourself feel a little bit better.
Hi, No Blade, No Bows. And of course, anybody, whatever, I've come to learn over the years just how much this silly, stupid podcast means to a lot of people in a lot of different ways, including us. Yeah. So, if our show and us being stupid and arguing about dumb things can bring you some laughs or some decompression or some relaxation or whatever you need, then we're very happy to do that for you. As I've said many times in the past, I really look forward to the show. I love doing the show. It's my favorite part of the site because it's just free form and stupid. And best of all, I get to see friends every week. So that's the best excuse.
Freddie Fro says, ain't no place I'd rather be hanging and banging.
I saw that. And wait, there was another one. Highlight of my life, says 8-Bit Lego. Now, the thing I wanted to say, and I'm pretty sure you guys are good guys and you wouldn't do this, but to show our dedication, or at least my dedication to the podcast, yes, I am here doing the podcast regular time when Money in the Bank is going on because it's in London, so it's at 3 p.m. today. And part of me wanted to move the podcast so I could watch Money in the Bank, but I said, nope, the podcast is more important. So here I am. So all I'm asking is, please do not spoil what happens because I'm going to watch it today, probably shortly after the podcast. I've muted my texts and everything. Like I don't want to know what happens. I'm very excited for this.
This is serious, people.
Yeah, it is very serious. I'm really
He's so
hoping
excited, he elbow dropped the table just now.
I'm really hoping that LA Knight gets the Money in the Bank. I don't think it's going to happen, but boy, am I excited. I watched SmackDown last night while I was working, and the crowd was over the top excited for LA Knight. They couldn't have been more behind him. So we'll hope he wins. But anyway, please, no spoilers. Sneaker Hack says, to put things in perspective, I've been listening since 2006 based on a job I had. So in 2026, I'll been listening for 20 years. Wow. 20 years. That's nuts. Should we end it 20 years?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, MomBrain says yes. All right. We're anything in particular that makes this one exciting? Freddie Fro asks. Well, I'll try not to go down a rabbit hole of why I'm excited. Money in the Bank is one of my favorite pay-per-views just because it's ladders. People got to climb it to get a briefcase. It's the epitome of dangerous moves, wrestlers who are too dumb to climb quickly. And whoever wins a briefcase gets to go for whatever belt they want. They can cash it in. So, but this year, LA Knight has really come into his own. The crowd is extremely behind him. He's such a throwback wrestler in terms of microphone skills. He's like The Rock and Stone Cold put together, and the crowd is eating it up. So, plus, he's a 40-year-old guy, which in wrestling is ancient. And he's only just coming into his own now. He was in NXT, their developmental, but now he's on the main roster. And he almost got cut. But he's here and back to his old character, and it's a great story. So I'd love to see him win. But yeah, Money in the Bank in general is people climbing ladders and doing really crazy stuff. So I love it. I love it.
It's always fun to see them invent new ways to not climb up
Yeah.
a ladder.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's like their brain leaves their head the second they touch the ladder. They just don't know how to climb up a ladder anymore. And
They
it's
are
always very entertaining.
Very slow. They have to make sure it's in perfect position, like perfectly centered underneath the briefcase.
And then they
Climb
gotta
up
go
very
really
slowly.
Slow. Yep.
And then the camera will always cut to the higher camera view where you can only see half the ladder. So you don't know if somebody else is running in to stop them, and
Yep.
then they have to watch the crowd. It's fun. It's
and
great.
they won't go all the way up. They'll start reaching for the briefcase
Yes.
a little too
Yeah.
early, and it's like you
Yeah.
can go up another step
Yeah.
and just grab it.
When you're that high on a ladder, depth perception, you can't make it out. 10th Division, yes, the Pikmin demo progress does carry over to the full game of Pikmin 4. So there you go. That's that. I don't want to spend too much time talking about wrestling. Just please don't spoil. I mean, I want to talk a lot about it, but I'm not going to. We did the ad read very quickly right before I came on to do the podcast. I saw the hubbub about Twitter. Boy.
Yeah, what's happening?
Wait a minute. Hold on a minute.
Dead, right?
I had the tweet up that I wanted to read, but I don't know if it just... No, it's still here. This was at 1 o'clock today, so I didn't see it until just a few minutes ago. Elon went on Twitter and said, to address extreme levels of data scraping and system manipulation, we've applied the following temporary limits. 1, verified accounts are limited to reading 6,000 posts a day. 2, unverified accounts are limited to reading 600 posts a day. 3, new unverified accounts are limited to reading 300 posts a day. Anyone who's on Twitter knows you can hit that in probably 5 minutes. Like scrolling on your feed for 5 minutes, you'll hit you'll definitely hit the 300. You'll probably hit the 600, but that's insane. Temporary limits because of all this stuff. How long is this temporary limit going to be? I don't know, but if you spend any time on Twitter more than 10 minutes a day and you're not verified, you're probably going to have a problem. But even if you are verified, I know you see 6,000 posts, you're like, I'll never hit that in a day. If you scroll on Twitter, like you're blowing through like 50 tweets in like 30 seconds. So that number is going to get hit pretty quickly. So yeah. Goodbye. We've gone through this ever since Elon took over Twitter. We've just been seeing it fall apart piece by piece, and now this one's extra rough. Alternate list says, "Where's GN going to go? Twitter implodes." I know Instagram is working on their Twitter. What's the word? Competitor. Why couldn't I think of that? Whatever. Listen, GoNintendo existed before Twitter was even a thing. Before social media was really a thing. But whatever social media platform comes up and is seen by the public as a successor to Twitter, that's where we'll wind up. I can't start making accounts for every competitor out there. I need, because there's so many out there now and they're not going to be viable. So whatever one becomes the front runner is where I'll make sure we get at. So I can't, every week something new pops up. I got to give it time and see what the people flock to. So wherever they flock to, we will flock to as well. Yeah, I keep hearing Blue Sky, so we'll see. I don't know, guys. But that's enough about that garbage.
Yeah.
Let's talk about things we need to talk about. Well, we don't need to talk about it, but things I want to talk about before we get into regular news. First things first, no artwork from Krazy Kernal this week because the man is celebrating his 40th birthday. He is not around, so no Krazy Kernal artwork. This is not my call to anyone to put together artwork for the podcast. If you, in your heart and your free time and your interest, want to do something, go ahead. And maybe I'll put something different on the site or do a collection on the site and do something for YouTube. Not a request for that at all. If you are so inclined, go right ahead. But Kernal spends so many hours putting together artwork each week that for his birthday, he's taken a week off. And of course, that's more than allowed. So he's gone traveling for a week and hopefully enjoying himself. So again, no artwork. Peace and love, no artwork this week. MomBrain?
Yes.
Happy day after your 41st birthday.
Thank you very kindly. I got to celebrate it with many of my most favorite people, which was lovely.
Ice cream cake.
An ice cream cake with a handful of my most favorite people.
Man, that cake
Mads
was good.
Mikkelsen.
And Mads Mikkelsen. And I would like for the record to show that I've heard that people have been making statements about Deux being a very kind and fine human.
Aww.
And I know that he did not like the film yesterday based on the way that he responded very politely
Yes.
to save my feelings from being hurt, that he really probably only went to the movie because it was something that I wanted to do. And the man was very polite.
It was your birthday. It was
Yes.
a good birthday.
Well,
Also,
let the record show everyone was quite polite about not enjoying the film.
We went with another friend who very, very much enjoyed the film, and I'm really happy they did. So yeah,
I liked it. I didn't
those of
love
us-
it. I wouldn't go back and see it again. I wouldn't say you got to go see it, but I liked it.
those of us who didn't enjoy the film kept quiet because we're not out to rain on someone's parade.
Mads was amazing.
Matt, yeah,
That was
I don't
never in
think
question.
anybody in the film was bad. I don't think anybody.
True, yeah.
Everybody's fine. It's just the film didn't do it for some of us. But we
For
had a lovely
most of you.
time. We had a lovely time. Also from last week, this is an update on the Marvel Secret Invasion intro. The Namekian Clown left a comment that I said I would read. He says, according to the effects studio that made the opening credits, they used the AI tools on their own without Disney or Marvel's input, and it was simply used as a tool to make the creepy shape-shifting effect. And human artists made the art that was put into the AI tools. Well, then, if that is the case, that's a completely different story. Then I'm totally cool with that. That would make a lot more sense if they were like, we want that creepiness of the AI, but with our artwork. So if that's what they did, then yeah, then it'd be like, using Photoshop or something like that, something akin to that. If they're morphing their own artwork that they created and they just want that weird smear, then yeah, that's a completely different story. So if that is fully the case, then I am totally fine with it. I did some research. I did read what Namekian Clown wrote as well, sourced in other interviews. So it seems like that's the case. Just wanted to point that out because I said, if we learned other stuff, I'd let you know.
Very cool.
Now, the thing that I tortured Deux with, and I didn't realize I tortured him. So again, I apologize. We're here, Deux. The topic that multiple people reached out to me and asked if I was going to talk about it on a podcast because they knew I would be riled up about it.
I'm sure this is going to be worth the wait.
You are correct. Wheel of Fortune has announced that their new host is Ryan Seacrest.
No.
And am I upset about it? Yes, very much so. Not because Pat's leaving. I like Pat as a host of Wheel of Fortune. I think he's funny.
Ew.
I don't like Pat as a person, but that's besides the point. Pat is retiring. And I was like, I wonder who is going to get the role. Who's going to be the new host? And I applaud the team behind Wheel of Fortune for naming a successor instantly, because the whole rigmarole with Alex
Jeopardy.
Trebek passing away and then all that celebrity everything, celebrity host, and who's it going to be? And it's this person. Oh, it's not this person. All that just soured people. So I applaud Wheel of Fortune on being like, here's our host. Now the host, I don't think Ryan Seacrest is a bad person, but he's the most like milk toast, no personality person to give a hosting gig. What? And he's already replaced another game show host. He took over for Dick Clark doing New Year's Eve.
Right.
Dick Clark used to host Pyramid, not like Seacrest host Pyramid, but like he's already stolen one famous game show host job. Now we got to give him another one. Like, can't we get? I'm not saying we need somebody that's full of personality to take on the job, but can't we get somebody a little more personable than Ryan Seacrest? He's just like he's like a nothing. He's like a
he's
nothing.
a fart. He's a total fart.
I don't like that choice.
I don't think like he'll be bad. Really Pat's job mostly is joking, other than like him saying spin or solve and yes, there's two T's. Like Ryan can do those things because anybody could do those things. But like the bulk of what Pat does is the funny stuff, the banter, all that, like the back and forth.
Yeah. There's a reason why you only see Ryan once a year when you're drinking champagne. That's the only time you can put up with him. I can't drink champagne every night.
Or you're still watching American Idol.
I mean,
he is there in
could.
American Idol.
Well, I guess you could.
So yeah, that's horrible.
They need like Paul Rudd or something. Just be like, retire from acting. Paul Rudd, be the host of Wheel of Fortune. I mean, that'd be amazing.
But I feel like something about Paul Rudd, like, yeah, I'd watch him every day. But
Hi, Storba.
There's something, it would lose the specialness.
Maybe
it'd be like drinking champagne every day. It just wouldn't be special anymore.
Right,
it would be Tuesday.
Right. It's sparkling wine at that point.
Well, do you know anything about the difference between champagne and sparkling wine? Do?
I do a little bit.
What are we getting at here?
About where it comes from?
Is this something I'm not picking up
It's a Wayne's
on?
World joke.
It's Wayne's World.
Oh, okay. I got it. So here's the thing.
Okay. We're just...
I can't add anything. Go ahead. I don't know. I don't have Wayne's World memorized.
You suck.
Well, she said so I married an axe murderer quote earlier, and actually, is it Alan Arkin passed away? He was the police chief in that, and amongst other things. But he's like, when he's like, you ever grab onto that bottom part of a helicopter? Yeah, I know that part. That part. So rest in peace, that guy. Rest in peace.
What does it look like, Serpico?
Yeah.
Hi, Anastasia Beaverhausen. Good to see you.
We're getting in the weeds here.
So here's the thing. Hi, PT. Good to see you. Can't chat, but I'm listening while I'm headed up north. All right. Well, drive safely. Here's the thing. Am I upset about Ryan Seacrest getting the job? Yes. Do I have someone to replace him with? No. I can't think of anybody. Who the hell should be the host?
Strahan.
Just kidding. Yeah. Man, I'm trying. I think I would still be more upset about Ryan Seacrest. If they said Strahan, I'd be upset because I don't like him as a host. But somehow Strahan is less offensive to me because he has a personality. At least I may not like the personality, but he's got something. Ryan Seacrest has a nothing. There's just nothing. It's a nothing. Oh my God, Ice Dilbert, that would be amazing. LA Knight as the host of Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, now that because now he's got personality, man. But yeah, I've been like plumbing the depths of my mind to try and figure out who the hell would be a good host of Wheel of Fortune, and I got nobody. But it was suggested to me someone who I think would be a perfect fit. Now I am I'm a huge fan of this guy, so I'm probably biased, but MomBrain, you will agree. Craig Ferguson.
I feel like I don't want to see him
making millions of dollars and
no,
having a cushy gig.
I don't it
Being
feels
funny.
too generic for him. Like I need him to have something that's not generic. I don't know. There's something about it that I
where
don't.
he can.
So
where he
what
can
you're
do
saying
his,
is
he can put his little spin on.
You're
it.
saying he's too good for it?
Yeah, he's too good for it.
Could he host any? He's already hosted other game shows. Was he too good for them?
It's not
too
that
good for
he
everything.
can't do it. I don't think that's what she's arguing.
But she wouldn't want to see him do it.
Doesn't anyone care what I think?
Josh, your name has been brought up in the chat. Your name
Hell
has been
yeah.
brought up. So did you like? He hosted Celebrity Name Game, and he was great. He was a great host on that show.
Yeah.
And he hosted that whatever one, The Imposter or whatever it was called, and he was great on that show. So did you not like seeing him as the host of those shows?
I'm not saying that. I don't know. I'm not against it. I'm not against it.
I'm just trying to get what you're getting at.
I don't want to see him pigeonholed. And I don't know.
Well, he's got another show coming up. It's not like he's doing it first off, but
I know.
You're right. Like Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, The Price is Right. Like those are iconic hosts that only do that now. You don't see them doing anything else. Although Ken Jennings is on another game show. So, but you're right. You know, that's the thing that they become, and that's what they ride it out as. Of course, why wouldn't they? Unless they had like motivations or inspiration to do something else creative, then yeah, you're going to be like, yes, I'll do this show that I record all within 1 month of the year and make $20 million. Why not? So, but yes, if Craig was announced, I would be extremely excited because I'm like, well, I know he's funny. I know he could do the job, and I know he'd make the show even more entertaining. So, but yeah, if you can come up with somebody else, go right ahead. But Ryan Seacrest, not the pick. I'm very upset about that. I can't imagine him at all adding anything personality wise to Wheel of Fortune, but I will give him a shot. I'll give him a shot.
And Vanna's sticking around?
Vanna is sticking around as far as I know. Yes, she's renegotiating her contract. She will be still on board, which I'm sure the show is waiting for the day when Vanna leaves, because I don't think they're going to replace her with anyone, because we all know Vanna's job doesn't need to be done.
And she's
no one's flipping letters anymore. They're touching a touch screen. That can be done on its own. Like, no offense to Vanna. I love Vanna. But Vanna's job doesn't need to be done. They don't need a person there to do that. So they'll be like, we could save $15 million a year by not having a person there. But maybe they will. I don't know. Maybe there'd be a huge uproar if they didn't have somebody else flipping letters. I don't know. I don't know, people.
It'd be like if they got rid of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. People would go nuts.
Like an institution. Yeah, but is Vanna herself the institution? You know, the cheerleaders are like a thing.
True.
But Vanna herself is the institution.
We need to clone her.
If you don't replace her, well, you know what they're going to do? They're going to replace her with Maggie Sajak. That's what
But how do you go from the host's daughter to making it Vanna's replacement? That doesn't seem right to me. Like
all the old people are going to be like, "Oh, how cute! It's Pat." Like I'm telling you, you heard it here first.
I bet you that's not too far off.
But wouldn't that be like a demotion to be? You are the host's daughter. You would think you'd be next in succession to be the host, and they're going to be like, "No, you touched the screens to flip the letters." Now, here's the other thing: they're bringing back Wheel of Fortune in the UK. Who do they get as a host? Graham Norton, fantastic host, fantastic host. But here we're getting Ryan Seacrest. Like, you know, these game shows are institutions for multiple reasons.
Oh yeah,
the hosts as well. Who's great Graham Norton?
That guy's funny.
Nico Daruni is talking about Jimmy Carr. I like Jimmy Carr, and I like his bad laugh. I actually really like his bad laugh. Johnny Blue Jeans, MomBrain. That's who we're talking about.
Oh. Johnny Blue Jeans is great.
But yes, in the UK, he's one of their institutional game show hosts. 9 out of 10 Countdown, 9 out of 10 Cats does Countdown. That show where they have the celebrities and they pull numbers and letters off the board. And you know what I'm talking. You've watched episodes. Yes. I really like that show. He's the host on that show. And other game shows or other panel shows over there. Man, do I love panel shows. I wish I could. This is my whole life. I wish I could find people in real life who are as passionate about the things that I am, because I want to be like, hey, come on over. Let's watch a couple hours of panel shows. Nobody's going to do that. Okay. Hi, Darmani. Good to see you. But anyway, yes, feel free to drop your suggestions for replacements on Wheel of Fortune host, and I'll gladly discuss them. Moving on. very quickly, we're going to do this very quickly, MomBrain. Your thoughts on, because it will impact you directly, your thoughts on Among Us getting a cartoon.
Well, first of all, I'm fine with it. Second of all, Among Us really wasn't that big of a deal this year at school. He means like with kids and whatever. And also, I'm going to middle school next year. So it really probably won't impact me because the middle school kids
I don't think you understand
are more into
the
vaping.
meme-worthy. Like,
Yeah.
memeable Among Us is a thing. And now with this cartoon coming out, I think it's going to be even bigger. But you don't think it's going to be a factor?
Well, I mean, I did have to play the Fart Us song
See?
a lot this year, which was great.
I think your downplaying of Among Us is sus.
Oh boy. I mean, Sus was definitely,
Yeah.
and Cap. And my favorite
Well,
was
that's got nothing to do with Among Us.
I know, but those were the two big. But my favorite was my student that, was very challenging at the beginning of the year. And by the end of the year, we really made some progress. And he would be like, Miss MomBrain, do you smell that? And I'd be like, what? He'd be like, it smells like Cap. And he would do it to the teaching assistant. She would like say something to be like, Miss Nugent, Miss Brain, you smell that? And I'd be like, oh yeah, it smells like Cap. Or like he would do something. I'd be like, did you like?
And what's the teacher's assistant? Like, what does that mean? Or like, there's no hats here or some stupid...
Well, we had to tell her what it meant. And then once in a while she would try to do it. And he'd be like, it's not cool when you do it. And I was like, that's right. That's right.
You're telling a cap.
Yeah.
That
Right.
sounds
Are
like
you
what a teacher
capping
would
me?
say. Yeah.
He's capping.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll revisit this topic when the cartoon comes out. Finally, one thing gaming related I do want to mention before we get into the news. This is the last topic. More on the Microsoft FTC legal battle, which is now over. The courtroom proceedings have come to a close. The judge will make their decision, I believe. It's going to be in July. I thought it's going to be the first or the second week of July, but it could stretch longer than that. But this is probably going to be a stupid thing for me to say, but I will say it. Having followed along with this courtroom drama quite extensively, thanks to Stephen Totillo, by the way. He was live tweeting everything going on. Thankfully, this happened before the 600 limit. He did a great job covering it. I've come to see that all these people involved are arguing about things that they don't understand and can't make sense of. And the judge is going to decide what happens. And she also has no idea what she's talking about. And again, I know this is dumb of me, but it was my it was my realization of like, oh my God, there are so many legal battles that get decided and argued by people who have no idea what they're talking about. It was like, this is just something silly, video games and who's going to own this company. But I'm like, people's lives are at stake. And the people arguing for and against are not equipped to do so. And the judges have no idea what they're really deciding on. And I'm only saying that because the sheer amount of misinformation and misunderstanding that came out of this legal battle was mind-boggling. Mm-hmm. Like, the judge literally said at one point, I can't believe this is all about a shooter game. Like, how you're the judge. How can you make such a silly statement like that? Like, all right, you don't understand video games and you don't get why people are playing them and you don't understand the industry. But for you to be like, I can't believe this is all about a video game. Like that, like you're already, we're talking about something that is worth $10 billion, something that is bigger than movies and TV combined. And you're just going to be like, I can't believe this is about a game. Like, so already you're showing disinterest and misunderstanding of what's going on. Yet you're the person who's going to bring down the gavel and decide what happens here. And the misunderstanding of like cloud technology and how gaming companies work together. And like at one point in the argument, the judge was like, FTC is saying like, there's nothing like, or what was it? It was, I forget the exact discussion. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing here. But the judge was like, isn't there any other game that's like Call of Duty? And legal counsel replied by saying Elder Scrolls. And I'm like, in what world are these games anything alike? Like, no one has ever made the comparison that Call of Duty and Elder Scrolls are pretty much the same game. They're
What
not.
rules, you sons of bitches?
And no one that plays games or has a passing understanding of games would think that. And yet, this is an argument that's being made in this legal battle about whether Microsoft should be able to buy Activision. I'm like, what? How is there no one giving legal counsel that has at least a rudimentary understanding of video games? Like, we have two sides arguing, or not really. We have a judge in the FTC arguing about this stuff, and they have no idea what they're talking about. How are you making legal arguments when you don't understand what you're talking about? Like, you're just so many incorrect ideas and so many incorrect terms. I'm not expecting the judge to be like getting the names of games right. Like, she said like Elder Scrolls 16 at some point, and everybody's like joking about it and memeing on her. If you're not paying attention to games, I get that, games have numbers and you're not paying attention to that and you make a mistake. You understand what the name of the game is. We understand what you mean. I'm not like, Elder Scrolls or 16.
Numbers,
That's not going to be out for 100 years or something like that. That's not the point. But like, when you don't understand like how cloud technology works and a role it plays, and like one side in bad faith arguing that cloud is just as important as everything else, and the judge not understanding why cloud gaming isn't viable. Like, why don't the judge was like, I think you're downplaying the importance of cloud technology. She's like, nobody rents physical movies or DVDs anymore. People do, but I understand what she's saying. Yes, streaming is the big thing right now, but nobody in this legal battle was like, Your Honor, you don't understand that when you're playing a game, there's latency and you need extremely high-speed internet to make the game even work to begin with. But the connection speed matters for your inputs. When you're watching a movie or a TV show, it's a passive experience, and you might experience buffering if your internet has a hiccup. But you don't need the connection speed you would for a game, which is constantly reading the back and forth input of what you're doing and what the game's spitting out. So the internet speed is a key piece of that, and requires much more than what a streaming service would for films or TV. So that's why cloud gaming hasn't taken off, and likely won't ever take off to that degree, because we don't have that infrastructure. Like, how is no one arguing any of this stuff? They're just like, the judge is like, cloud gaming is going to take off. That's the way things are going. And no one's like, well, here's why it isn't. They're just like, okay, Your Honor, thank you. It's so disappointing, because at 40 years old now, I'm just like, obviously I knew the legal system had its issues in so many different ways, but I've never really followed a legal proceeding as closely as I have this one, as it's actively going on, and seeing like everything that's been said. And it was just like shocking to be like, wow, they really don't know what they're talking about. And at the end of this, there's going to be a decision made based on wrong information. It's just sad. I don't know how these teams don't have. I don't expect the lawyers to know what they're talking about, because a lawyer can't know every aspect of every case that they're in. But you would think you'd have an expert there that you would converse with and refer to and discuss things with, and be like, hold on, let me have an aside with whatever, when something comes up where they could be like, this means this, or this is really this. And you go, okay, thank you. And then you continue on. But nope, it's not. They're flying by the seat of their pants. And it's sad and frustrating and funny in the worst way possible. So what an eye-opening experience that was. But we're getting a decision in July. So it is July. We're getting a decision this month. So I don't know. It was shocking to me. But again, stupid of me to think that. So there you go. We'll see what happens. I don't know what decision is going to be made, but it's going to be a wild one.
What a world. The system has failed us.
Sorbus Corvin says the problem is not the judge being ignorant, but that they don't have any experts to consult. Yeah, I'm not upset with the judge or the legal counsel at all, because like I said, I don't expect them to know everything about video games or whatever they're going to deal on. They need to be given the information to make an assessment, a judgment on. Make an assessment. But yeah, what they're being given is incorrect or not.
No,
not fully fleshed out. So yeah. Not no knock against the judge at all, because yeah, they're just not being informed as they should be. And that's scary that they're going to make a decision on that based on that. So there you go. That's it, everybody. That's all I got. MomBrain, can we go into regular news, please? Is that like
Pulling into the news station?
Is that like the Hogwarts train and Harry Potter's riding it and the bird is flying by? He's got a owl.
It is an owl.
That was an owl screech that we heard. Don't look.
Okay.
Do you hear that?
Don't look or don't look?
Remember, Josh, it's not NPD anymore. It's Circana.
We'll be right back.
Oh.
Hey, be quiet. I think I hear something. NPD.
No. I don't like this
He's
at all.
covering it up.
NPD.
Josh, it's Circana. Josh, it's Circana.
Is that what I sound like?
Maybe next week. Or maybe next month,
That's
Josh.
none of your business.
We got
Why
the top
would you
20.
say that?
Because that's what it is, Josh. It's not called NPD
Thanks.
anymore.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Let's take it under advisement.
Top 20 software. We got our top hardware, blah, blah, blah. MomBrain and Deux, you two are the only ones playing. Again, let me say this all so you know all the facts. This is May 2023. This is the United States. And this is all of gaming, not just Nintendo. Give me that millionaire music. MomBrain, you're starting.
Zelda.
Yes, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom.
This one?
No. Yes. Is number 1 for the month. There you go. Deux, over to you.
Hogwarts Legacy.
That is number 2. Back over to you, MomBrain.
We're going to go with Elden Ring.
I'm sorry, what?
E-Ring.
E-Ring, Elden R is number 11. Yes. Deux.
Call of Duty, bro.
Call of Duty, bro. Number 5. Yes, very good. MomBrain.
Let's go with a GTA game.
MomBrain says a GTA game. MomBrain, I'm so sorry, but no. Deux, can you secure the victory here?
The Last of Us Volume 2.
The Last of Us Part 2. No, MomBrain, you are alive. Back to you.
How about let's go with a Pokemon.
Pokemon, Scarlet and Violet, number 18. Yes, Deux, to you.
Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo. Despite the movie coming out, no. I'm sorry, it's not on here. MomBrain, you win. Congratulations.
Oh, I don't have to give one more?
You went first, so
went
you're one up
first.
on him.
Okay.
You win. Speech?
I'm great.
So here's your top 20, starting with number 20. Super Mario 3D World, Lego Star Wars, The Skywalker Saga, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, New Super Mario Brothers, that's got to be U Deluxe, God of War Ragnarok, Madden NFL 23, Smash Brothers, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, back in the charts, Minecraft, E-Ring Elden R, Far Cry 6, Resident Evil 4, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, FIFA 23, MLB The Show 23, Call of Duty, Dead Island 2, which I'm surprised you didn't guess, Stu. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Hogwarts Legacy, and Tears of the Kingdom. There you go.
I didn't know Dead Island 2 was doing well.
Yeah, I sent you something about it being like a million. It's the fastest selling one ever, or something like that.
Whoa.
So there you go. That's your top 20. Now here's where it gets really interesting. We have the top 20 best-selling games in the United States for all of 2023 so far. I'm not making you guess this. The conversation's at the top of the charts. Hogwarts Legacy is number 1. Tears of the Kingdom is already number 2. In its debut month, Tears of the Kingdom has become the second best-selling game all year in the United States. Now, here's why that's even more impressive. Hogwarts Legacy is out on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PS4 and Xbox, whatever the previous gen Xbox was. It's out on all those, and PC. It's out on all of those. Tears of the Kingdom is only out on Switch, and it's number 2 for the year. Here's why that's even more impressive. Hogwarts Legacy includes digital sales. Tears of the Kingdom does not. So Tears of the Kingdom being number 2 for 2023 already only includes physical sales. This is insane. It's number 2 already. And here's the icing on the cake. It came out midway through June. It came out, May 12th. All of this to be number 2 for the entire year on one system, not including digital sales. So without a doubt, Tears of the Kingdom is the best-selling game in the United States for 2023. Full stop. Next month, we'll see it most likely surpass Hogwarts on this chart because we'll have a second month of physical sales, but we're not going to know digital sales. But there you go. I mean,
numbers are great and all, but is the game any good?
Reggie? Is Tears of the Kingdom good?
Is the game fun?
That's what we're asking you, Reggie.
What's wrong with you?
The game is not fun.
Reggie!
Oh my God. That's why they got rid of him.
My body is ready.
Wow, Reggie, I'm shocked.
I'm shocked.
Legend
too.
of Zelda was your favorite.
Is the game fun? The game is fun.
Oh, all right.
Whew, he just misspoke.
Reggie, you're giving me mixed messages here. You all right?
My body is ready.
Reggie's having a problem. Never mind, Reggie.
The game. The game.
The game. Yes, Reggie, the game. Yep. We'll let you get back to your union busting, Reggie. Steister says, congrats
What's
on
wrong
winning
with you?
the podcast guessing game again, Kirby. Would have been a great guess, but Kirby's at a wedding today, not his own. I
Every
don't think.
time someone makes a comment trying to predict the future, it always backfires.
Yep, not here. So there you go, guys. Oh, by the way, Switch was number 1, obviously. Obviously. Come on. You know what's shocking? All of these numbers are shocking, but PS5, Xbox Series X and S, the quote-unquote next gen is here. And the Switch, 6 years later, is still beating out those systems. It's crazy. Obviously, big boost from Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, but we've had other months where that game wasn't out and Switch was still number 1. I didn't think the Switch would put up this good of a fight against the other systems right now. I thought for sure it was going to get rocked, and it'd be like a second or third place for the rest of its life. But here we are, number 1. I can't believe it. I guess it's going to stay that way for at least a few months. When Spider-Man comes out, PS5 will be number 1 without a doubt. But we'll see what happens because maybe it won't be, because you're going to have new Super Mario Brothers, or you're going to have Super Mario Brothers Wonder. I don't know. Man, this holiday season is going to be something else. I don't know. But right now, this month, or I should say May. No, was it May? Yeah, it was May. Switch was number 1. There you go. So great month for Nintendo. You did it, Nintendo fans. Great job. Switch Online.
It only took the greatest game ever coming out and no games ever coming out for PlayStation 5.
That's the other amazing thing. Like, to see how far Zelda has climbed. Breath of the Wild was the breakthrough game for Zelda to go to a next tier as far as success. And now the whole franchise is bigger than it's ever been. Crazy. I have a franchise 30 plus years, and now it's bigger than ever. So that's nuts. Not a lot of industries, companies, entertainment brands, or franchises can say that. They've been around for however many decades, and they managed to hit their stride or only continue to grow as the years go on. It's tough. Marvel, I guess, would be one. Obviously, that's on a downward slope now, but Marvel's obviously was popular, and then popular for comics, but not popular, and then rode to a huge level of success. But outside of that, I can't really think of anything. Do you have Switch Online? If you have Switch Online, then you got some new Genesis games that you can play. 4 new Genesis games were added to Switch Online. I should stress that it's part of the expansion pack. You have to have the expansion pack membership. But if you do, here's what you can play: The Revenge of Shinobi, Ghouls and Ghosts, Landstalker, and Crusader of Senti. I've always wanted to play Crusader of Senti because it looked like classic Legend of Zelda. It's like Genesis's answer to that. As multiple games tried to do that, but this one looked to be the best one. And now we can play that on Switch. And I'm going to give it a shot because I'm interested in checking it out. Always been one of those Genesis games that escaped me over the years, but all available now. Your free update to your Genesis library at no additional cost for the expansion pack.
I just got a belated birthday text from Julie. And I'm not sure, this might be a hot take for some people, but I really love most animals. However, there is one creature that makes me want to vomit. I'm terrified of snakes, but there's a creature that makes me want to vomit, and it is the wretched small white fluffy dog. And Julie sent me this picture for my birthday of a man she met at a festival, and with a note that he says, "F you from my dog Fluffernutter."
There you go.
And that's beautiful. He's got his dog Fluffernutter on his shirt.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Rick Fillet says, excellent update for Crusader of Senti alone, and Landstalker is a personal bonus. I watched the little gameplay that they showed for Landstalker, and that also looked cool to me. So I was like, oh, I'll check that one out as well. It looked like a great update in general. I haven't played 2 of those games. I played the other 2, and they are great games. So this looks like a really good Genesis update to me. So if you're a retro fan and you have a expansion pack membership, then I hope you're checking out these games and enjoying them, not like you're busy playing other things like Tears of the Kingdom or whatever. Ice Dilbert says, great, I can play Ghouls and Ghosts for 43 seconds before I lose all my lives, just like the original. It's a very difficult game. I understand. But remember, Switch Online lets you rewind and all that stuff, do save states if you want to do that. So there's options there to help you if you so choose.
Are you a Ghouls and Ghosts fan? Not just from like a respect point of view, but you actually like it, because I find it
like
way too punishing.
I bought the new one that's on Switch. I was a big fan of it, but it was, the Switch one seemed harder than ever. But yes, I really like that franchise. I liked the Maximo spin-offs too. I liked when I did those 3D entries on the PS2. Those were a lot of fun. But franchise doesn't get as much love nowadays. Like I said, I know Capcom made a new one for Switch. I don't remember if it came out on other systems, but it was very much a new in the old style, which I appreciated, and I can't imagine they were expecting a lot of people would buy it. But it's out there. It's probably on sale right now. Go check it out. PlayStation was talking a little bit about Call of Duty and Nintendo fans during this legal battle, obviously.
Call of Duty, bro.
So PlayStation was, obviously they don't want this merger to go through with Microsoft and Activision, or this acquisition, I should say. And PlayStation boss Jim Ryan was talking about Nintendo and Call of Duty and all that stuff. And he says he doesn't consider Nintendo a direct competitor to Sony and PlayStation. And I said, to some degree, I understand that. Obviously, when people think of the competitor to PlayStation, they think Xbox. Although it's a bit silly now because, Xbox isn't really selling all that well. So should it really be the competitor when the Switch is obviously selling much better? Like, they both play video games and both systems don't get all the same games, but there's a large amount of games on the systems that are the same. So, in terms of horsepower, the Switch is not a competitor, obviously. The PS5 is much more powerful. I get that. So I can yes and no agree with this statement. There's some areas that I'm like, come on. But he talked about Call of Duty and Nintendo, and he says, quote, Call of Duty is aimed at a very different audience than the standard Nintendo audience that enjoys Mario and Zelda, not Call of Duty. So yes, Nintendo fans obviously prefer Mario and Zelda over Call of Duty. I'm not saying that there's not an audience for Call of Duty on Nintendo platforms. The problem is we've never really seen it explored, because whenever we do get a Call of Duty game, it's not at feature parity, or it's not, or it's some spin-off, or it's just not given the same care and attention as the mainline proper or PlayStation, Xbox versions of Call of Duty. So if we were to get like a fully fledged Call of Duty game, maybe we could see what would happen there. Now, I know Call of Duty was on the Wii U, and it wasn't at feature parity, but it had a lot of the stuff. But the Wii U is not exactly the best platform to use for comparison's sake. So if there was a Call of Duty on Switch that was feature parity day and date with the other versions, then we could have had a better comparison to discuss, but that never came to be. So we've had like Call of Duty on the Wii, which was played completely differently, obviously, and didn't have the same features as the other versions. We had Call of Duty on the DS, so obviously that's not really going to compare or be possible to compare. So I don't know. I think we need the developers of Call of Duty to really give it their all on a Nintendo system, and we need the Nintendo system to be successful. And then we can look at how Call of Duty sells on a Nintendo system and see if the audience is there or if they're not interested. Because we've heard this argument about other franchises before, and it wasn't true. It was just developers being like, Nintendo fans don't want to play that kind of stuff. And then the Switch came about and got really popular, and these developers were like, oh, we should put these games out. And then you see stuff like The Witcher 3 sell over 1 million, or I don't know how many, probably more than that now. And that's a port years after. And we see Minecraft come to the Switch and become, I'll talk about that later. We've seen multiple instances where franchises that normally avoided Nintendo systems came over and it became multi-million sellers. So fans were willing to buy them there. So with Call of Duty, I don't think it's fair to say that Nintendo fans aren't interested. I think it would be more fair to say Nintendo fans haven't ever had a chance to really interact with a fully featured Call of Duty game. And if Microsoft does get to purchase Activision, then we will get to see that, because they promised at least 10 years of Call of Duty games at feature parity day and date with Nintendo systems. So it'll happen. SD Seacrest says, thanks for telling us what kind of games we like to play, Ryan. Sheesh. Yeah, that's the other thing. That's Sony's guy being like, Nintendo fans don't like that. It'd be like, well, I'm going to argue you might know a little more about Sony fans, but I don't know. Sorry, my cousin's texting me about Elon Musk, and she read the Twitter information. Not happy. Moving on, we have some more stuff from the Activision legal battle, because Activision's head honcho, or I shouldn't say that anymore. Activision's boss, Bobby Kotick, took the stand during this trial, and there was some reporting going around that he had divulged information about the power of the Switch's successor, whatever Nintendo does after the Switch. And it's not really true. I think it was misquoted, and information just ran wild, and people were like, he's talking about the power of the Switch successor. What really happened is, does Bobby Kotick know something about the Switch successor? I'm sure he does, because Nintendo's deep in development on that now. And obviously they're going to reach out to major third parties to be like, as they always do, and say like, here's what we're doing. Here's the specs. Here's at least a rough idea of the specs and what you can do on the system. Start thinking about games you could put on the platform. So I'm sure he knows something, but I really don't think he came out and said specifics or anything. On the stand, Kotick said, I think we would consider putting Call of Duty on the Switch's successor once we had the specs, but we don't have any at present. And then he also said, given closer alignment of Gen 8 platforms and our previous offerings on PS4 and Xbox One, it's reasonable to assume we can make something compelling for next-gen Switch as well. And people took that to mean the Switch's successor is going to have the same power as the PS4 or Xbox One. Now, could that end up being true? Certainly, that could be true. It's feasible. It's probably very likely that whatever Nintendo comes out with after the Switch will have power closer to the PS4 and the Xbox One rather than the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. I think that's a logical statement to make. But he's not saying factually, this is what Nintendo is doing. He's just saying, when we look at last gen and we look at what Nintendo did with the Switch, I would imagine the successor to the Switch will be able to make something Call of Duty wise that we'll be happy with. That's what he's saying. So anybody that's like, he leaked information or he confirmed that this is what Nintendo's doing, he didn't do any of that. It's just speculation. And again, I do think he has some idea of what Nintendo is doing, but obviously legally he wouldn't be allowed to talk about any of that. So we know just as much as we knew before. I think any armchair analyst can expect the Switch successor to be as powerful as the PS4 and Xbox One, and perhaps offer some other unique input method or control scheme or something. But that remains to be seen. Lion K says, I don't see why Nintendo would want their next system to be more powerful as a PS5. They might want the next system's power to be quite a notch up from Switch, so it's possible to create new games and make them look a bit more polished. People can say stuff like Zelda has never looked this good, but when power is bigger than it needs to be, a whole gen will be skipped and a tremendous cash cow will be overlooked. VR will probably ask for more power, but I think in a little while it won't be necessary to process more pixels because of the limits of our eyes. So better make good use of the less powerful consoles while we still can. I love to see a new Super Nintendo game done by Nintendo. I mean, I would love to see that too. I don't know if Nintendo would do that. I would love to see that. But yeah, Nintendo stopped the power chase over a decade ago. From GameCube to Wii, they were like, we're out of this horsepower race. Let's do more interesting stuff with control ideas or hardware ideas that don't have anything to do with how many pixels and polygons the system can push or how many teraflops it has or anything like that. So yeah, I don't foresee Nintendo ever going back to that race because they don't need to. They've seen time and time again that horsepower of the system doesn't matter. It's the software and it's how people interact with the system that matters. So there you go. Continuing with this Activision Call of Duty crap, Bobby Kotick also said it was a mistake not bringing Call of Duty to the Switch. He says, quote, I made a bad judgment. When I had seen the prototype of the Switch, it was different than when I saw the prototype of the Wii. And I thought the Wii was the most extraordinary video game system ever created. When I saw prototypes for the Switch, I was concerned because they were trying to accomplish a lot with a console that also had a portable capability. I didn't think it was going to be wildly successful. It's probably the second most successful video game system of all time. So it was a bad decision on my part. So good for him. He's like, hey, I looked at the Wii, I was blown away by what it could do, and we're bringing Call of Duty there. I looked at the Switch, and it's like, they're trying to do too much. This thing's not going to be hit. He was wrong. He says he was wrong. His mistake. And then again, talks about the potential for Call of Duty on Nintendo's next system. He says, like I said, I think once we get the detailed specifications, we missed out on the opportunity on past gen with Switch. So I'd like to think we'd be able to do that, but we'll have to wait until then. So basically, Kotick's like, hey, we made a mistake on Switch. My fault. Nintendo's next system, I'm not going to commit to that. So whatever. What does the man want? I don't know. He knows it's going to have more horsepower. I don't know what else it could do that he'd be like, no, we don't want to be on this thing. I guess it could have some kind of weird controller he figures they can't make work, but they made Call of Duty for the Wii. So I don't know what he could see. Just for the man, I guess
maybe if he saw the Wii U after being so jazzed about the Wii,
yeah,
he was like, this Switch is not going to.
Yeah, but they put out Call of Duty on the Wii U. They didn't put it out on the Switch.
Well, probably didn't. Maybe it didn't do well, and he was like, eh.
Well, obviously, yeah, it didn't do well. Nothing did well on the Switch, on the Wii U, minus Nintendo's own games. But he does want to get into a position where he's like, yes, we are definitely bringing Call of Duty to the next Nintendo system, and then not doing that. So he's got to. I know the PR game he's got to play. I get it. Endgamer says, what a load of crap. Bobby didn't want Nintendo because Nintendo platforms were too weak and kiddie and not hardcore. Never mind Activision having the top Wii shooters and would have been top shooters Black Ops 2 on Wii U if Nintendo's Wii U didn't die out at the market. They balked at bringing Crash Trilogy to Switch, believing Switch couldn't run it. The developer proved Bobby wrong and showed how out of touch Activision's management is. But in all honesty, I'd prefer Call of Duty staying off Nintendo platforms. Activision is far past its prime, and it's a predator using microtransactions with poor customer service. If you're not giving them $10,000 a day sweating in their games, they don't want you. Splatoon 2 and 3 became my shooter fix since Activision didn't want me as a customer. I get your sentiment and I agree with a lot of it. But and I get the like, screw them, we don't want it, we don't need it. I mean, the Switch has certainly proved that Nintendo doesn't need Call of Duty. But Nintendo also knows that the system would be better for having Call of Duty. So if they want to bring it, Nintendo would be happy to have it. I mean, look at Skyrim on Switch. They launched with that game. They showed it in their reveal trailer for the Switch because they know this is a game we can show where more hardcore gamers are going to be like, oh, wait a minute, Skyrim? That's an attention getter for them. That's why they showed basketball. That's why they showed like whatever it was, NBA 2K, whatever.
B-ball.
Because they're like, oh, sports. Nintendo's proven they can make a successful system without sports. Bless you. But they know when you're trying to wow people in the beginning, you show them sports, you show them shooters, you show them popular franchises. That's what you do. And that's what they did. And look at where the Switch is.
Wow.
We got talk of PS5 owners and what other systems they own. And this was quite interesting to me. 20% of PlayStation 5 owners also own an Xbox. So that's an Xbox Series X or S. So 20%, that's not it's not like it's a tiny number. It's a smaller number. But that makes sense, right? Like the vast majority of games you get on a PS5, you'll get on an Xbox Series X as well, minus your first party stuff. And on Xbox, at least right now, there's not too much. So yeah, the majority of PS5 owners are like, I don't need an Xbox because I can get almost everything on the PS5. Makes sense. But nearly half of PS5 owners also all own a Switch because you'll get all of Nintendo's first party content. Plus, there is third party content that won't come to PS5 because of the nature of it being on Switch and what the Switch can do. So yeah, that makes sense. But that's actually a higher number than I thought. I didn't think 50% of PS5 owners would also be down to play on Nintendo systems because they're like, Nintendo's kiddie. Nintendo only does Mario and Zelda. Nintendo doesn't have shooters, all that stupid stuff. But here we go. At least half of PS5 owners, they're talking one way online, and then they're pulling out their Switch to play games later on. So we see you, Sony. We see you, PlayStation 5 fans.
There you are.
Your numbers are out. You've been exposed. You can't hide in the shadows anymore. Aussie McBucket says, yes, but doesn't this give more evidence to Sony's argument? If Nintendo were a direct competitor, then wouldn't consumers be purchasing either a PS5 or a Switch? Not both? It seems like Microsoft would be the competitor in this instance, since one could argue that the consumers are buying a PS5 instead of an Xbox, or vice versa. Based on this data, Nintendo seems more like a competent... More than that, what? Oh, more like a compliment than a competition. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. So yeah, you could certainly make that argument. What I would like to see here is what's the percentage of Xbox owners that also own a Switch. When we had those numbers, there could be an even more compelling argument to make there for one side or the other, because numbers. Let's say 50% of people own an Xbox and a Switch, then you'd be like, oh, so it's the same for both sides. But we don't know. We'll find out whenever this legal battle continues, because I'm sure it will. North America. What did we get in North America? I'm happy to tell you. MomBrain, I know you're chomping at the bit to find out.
I am. Do you want me to do it?
What? Really?
Sure, I'd love to.
Wow. Yeah, go right ahead. There you go.
Wow. Okay. All right. So in North America this week,
is this a first?
It could be.
Wow. What an honor.
All right. So here we go. Starting off real good with everybody. 1-2 Switch, which was available June 30th. Can we play that at some point? On vacation, I guess? That'd be fun.
Yeah, we definitely can. I want to. That would be a perfect opportunity to play it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Also, Master Detective Archives Rain Code.
We have a review coming for that. I wanted to play that game. I don't have the time to do the review. I'm working on another review. So another staffer is tackling the review on that. They started playing the game yesterday. It's made by the Danganronpa guy. So very popular franchise. The game looks really cool to me.
I'm sorry, made by who?
Danganronpa is the franchise. But yeah, I'm excited about that game. Looks fun to me.
All right. Also, and I don't have to say when it's available, right?
Nope.
Okay. Also, we've got Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, or Phantom Dick, as I like to say.
Finally escaping its DS prison. Please. I wish Kirby was here because he loves this game. Play this game. If you missed it on a DS, play it on the Switch or whatever system because it's out on everything now. You really should check the game out. I think it's $30, and there's even a free demo to try out. Give the demo a try. I'd be shocked if you weren't hooked. It's such an awesome, unique game. A lot of fun. Really cool narrative puzzle adventure game. Awesome stuff. Made by the Ace Attorney guy. So there you go. Try the demo at the very least.
Objection.
We have, what time is it, everyone?
Time o'clock?
It's crime
Crime
o'clock.
o'clock.
That's what it is.
It is also 1-1-1-1-1 game. I don't see a comma, so
No clue what that is.
okay. A Tale for Anna, also available. Abandoned Ship. Here's one that I think will be up both of your cornholes. ACL Pro Cornhole.
I didn't even realize that. I got to take a look.
AEW Fight Forever.
Oh my God. Let me say this. Thank you very much to our resident game reviewer and professional wrestler for reviewing this game. On our front page, if you go to the front page of the site, you'll see the original content at the top. And we have a review of AEW Fight Forever done by Weapon Next, who is a professional wrestler. Again,
How cool is that?
Something I desperately wanted to review. Didn't have time to do it, and I was like, well, there's no one better on the team to review this than an actual professional wrestler. So he did a wonderful review. Also, you might remember we talked about Weapon Next a while ago because he was on an episode of AEW. He was a jobber, as they call it. I don't think he would take that negatively because he works in the industry.
Sounds dirty.
But he was a jobber, so he was on screen, like being like the muscle for a few minutes in the background. But he was there. He was on an episode of AEW, so good for him. I think he had an episode. I think he was in a dark match too. Now that I think about it, AEW Dark, maybe he was on an episode. But it was a squash match, which means he got beat pretty quickly. But still,
Hey, still
you
getting
got to
out
start
there.
somewhere. Hey, everybody in the industry starts out as jobbers and in squash matches, and then
Sometimes
you're
you get
main
squashed.
eventing.
Sometimes
It
you
happens.
do the squashing.
That's right.
Amen.
That's right.
Amen. And you hope it just evens out between squashed and squashing. Okay, Arcade Archives Splatterhouse.
Oh,
That is the classic Splatterhouse, just the arcade version.
Army of Ruin. Athanasy.
That's a real word.
Athanasy. Is
It's a
it?
real word. It
Look it
means
up.
it's something about you got my phone. It's like life and death, or it's something about life and death. I don't remember.
All right, well, get back to me on that one. Also, Boo Party.
Boo Party is a
We're never going to get
mature
through
game.
this list, by the
It's
way.
a mature game.
It's never happened. It's not going to happen.
I'll stop
No,
giving
no,
information.
it's nice that you get to do that. Bruxa. We also can get excited for Burnhouse Lane. It's not quite trains, but Bus Tycoon Night and Day. It's so hard for Rami Cowboy to not make a comment every single time here. But feel free. Chrono Breach Ultra.
Chrono Breach.
Circuit Superstars. Classic Racers Elite. This is an amazing name. Cop Police Escape Racing Zone Clash. Just throw it all together. Deadliest Catch the Game. Echo Blade.
Read that again.
Deadliest Catch the Game.
Sounded like you said deadliest catch of the game.
Deadliest Catch the Game.
That's based on the TV show.
Echo Blade. Enclave. Everybody, good luck finding Heidi. Heidi, like the famous book character. Forever Lost, episode 3. That's what happens when Raw Dad drives. Forever Lost. Grisaya Phantom Trigger 5.5 to 08.
It's a shmup.
Okay. Hamster on Rails. Yes.
Sounds good.
Hooligan Simulator, San Gangster Andreas.
Now
Fight for City, Battle Gangs, Shooter Police.
That's the game that's going to turn our kids into
Yeah.
hellions. Hooligan Simulator? Macron was right.
He warned us.
Inner Ashes, Medieval Royal Chess Classic board game. Moving Blocks Puzzles. Noob the Factionless. Picontier, I'm assuming. Picontier. This is an interesting name. Placid Plastic Duck Simulator. Sounds peaceful. As opposed to Quick Race. There's also Ray's Arcade Chronology.
That's also a shmup since we're talking about shmups.
RAY''Z. And then there's Ray Storm. I don't think it's related. Ray Storm X Ray Crisis HD Collection.
It is related. It is a shmup.
A lot of rays.
Shoot Vaders, The Beginning. Silent Paws. PAWS. So like a quiet paw.
It's about an assassin puppy. I'm making that up.
Oh, okay. Socko Ball Dreams. Suicide Guy, The Lost Dreams. The Lost and the Wicked. Tower Up. Truck Simulator. Vision Soft Reset. Volleyball Heaven. World War II Bunker Simulator. That sounds
You just eat
dark.
peaches in a can and
Like MREs.
Yep.
You know, my grandfather had
sleep
a ton
on
of MREs.
benches, cots.
Like a ton.
Gotta be prepared.
Yep. And last but certainly not least, your computer might be at risk.
Thank you, MomBrain.
The pleasure was mine entirely.
Josh, could you introduce Nikki to introduce Deux?
What are the next European masterpieces? Let's find out with Nikki's sweet releases.
All aboard.
Buongiorno, the European Switch eShop releases for the week of June 29th, the year of our Lord, 2023. This is Deux Michaels filling in for the incomparable Nikki Hill. Nikki Hill, we speak your name. 11111 game. Abandoned Ship. AEW Fight Forever. Akai Katana Shin. Arcade Archives Cop 01. Army of Ruin. Athanacy. Boo Party. Broodstar. Burnhouse Lane. Bus Tycoon Night and Day. Charade Maniacs. Chrono Breach Ultra. Classic Racers Elite. Constellations Discover the Universe. Crime O'Clock. Deadliest Catch the Game. Dolmen Yard Viking Island. Enclave HD. Everybody 1-2 Switch. Forever Lost Episode 3.
Forever Lost.
Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. Grisaya Phantom Trigger 5.5 to 08. Inner Ashes. Johnny Trigger Action Collection. Little Friends Puppy Island. Master Detective Archives Rain Code. Medieval Royal Chess Classic Board Game. Move the Box Classic Block Puzzle. Moving Blocks Puzzle. Noob the Factionless. Piktonir. Pirates The Legend of the Kraken. Placid Plastic Duck Simulator. Raging Bites. Rice Bowl Restaurant. Shimazu. Shoot Vaders, The Beginning. Scalpfold Usurper. Sky Caravan. Solvars. Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life. Suicide Guy, The Lost Dreams. Super Fidos. Switch Sides 2, Sea Sandwich. The Lara Croft Collection. Tower Up. Volleyball Heaven. WW2 Bunker Simulator. And last but certainly not least, your computer might be at risk. Steister says, what's coming out, dude?
And Steister on yours, MomBrain, says, what's coming out? Raw meat. So they got it wrong, but only because of a first time ever occurrence. But thank you, Steister, for the love. And thank you, Deux, for the Nikki Hill job. And MomBrain, since you asked, Athanasi, an absence of death or the condition of everlasting life. There you go.
That sounds horrible.
Now you know that it's a real word. I looked it up because I wanted to see if it was a real word.
I appreciate that.
I mentioned Minecraft earlier and said I had something to talk about. Here you go. Minecraft is owned by MomBrain.
Oh God, it's like a one. Oh, Microsoft.
That is correct.
Who
Microsoft.
made it? It's like a one. It's like a one
You
word.
talking about the original person who made it,
Yeah.
or the developer now?
The original. Wasn't there like a?
Are you talking about the person?
Yeah.
Notch was
There
the
we
person.
go. That was it.
But he hasn't been associated with Minecraft in forever.
We played Minecraft at school. On the last day of school, brought in my Switch. It was a real hit.
So Microsoft owns Minecraft. They have for a long time. It's out on everything. And we learned some interesting details about where Microsoft is making the most money with Minecraft. So Minecraft on Xbox is part of Game Pass because it's a first party title. So that doesn't mean they're not making money off of microtransactions in Minecraft, but people aren't buying Minecraft on Xbox because most of them aren't buying it because they have Game Pass. So that's where you're getting it. So it makes sense that they're not making a ton of Minecraft money there. But here's the really interesting thing. Microsoft has revealed that Xbox is where they make the least amount of money for Minecraft, so that makes sense. Followed by PlayStation. PlayStation versions of Minecraft are pulling in double what Minecraft does on Xbox. But here's the best part. The Switch release of Minecraft is pulling in 4 times what the Xbox version does. So people on Switch are bringing in buku bucks for Minecraft or for Microsoft with Minecraft. 4 times the amount. Now, every time we do like the NPD charts, or I'm sorry, Circana charts or worldwide charts, Minecraft, specifically the Switch edition, is always in there. And now we show how much of a difference that's making for Microsoft. 4 times the amount of money they're making on Xbox is coming from Switch, and that's Minecraft alone. So that's nuts. Now, what we don't know is the PC number. I'd probably think PC's making more than all of them, but I can't say for sure. That's just an educated guess. But when it comes to consoles, Switch is the king. So now you know why Microsoft was so excited and eager to bring Minecraft out on everything, Switch included, because Nintendo fans really love Minecraft, and Microsoft's making some bank off of them. And remember, you can't get it free on Switch, so you're buying the game outright.
Right.
And then you are also paying for microtransactions. Game Freak 613 says, I love playing it on Switch more than PC. Just wish I could play the Java version. I just wish I could play the Java version there, and that performance with large worlds was a bit better. Well, there you go. What was that?
That was my foot.
Oh, sorry. Well, there you go. Some minor complaints, but still having more fun playing it on Switch than on PC. Nintendo talked very little bit. So I meant to say this at the beginning of the show. This week sucked. There's been so much work to do and so more presentations to cover. And Nintendo's shareholder meeting finally got translated at 5 o'clock in the morning on Friday. And I knew it was going to happen because of trends of how it's happened in the past. So I was so tired from covering other events.
And that's like your bedtime. You're like just going to bed at 5.
And that night before, I had more stuff than usual to do. So I didn't finish work until like 3:30. So I was like, I'm dying. I got to go to sleep. I guess I'm going to set my alarm for 5:30. So I lay down on the couch and fell asleep at 4. Set the alarm at 5:30, and I checked my phone. And I'm like, please don't let that thing be up. And I looked, and it was there. And I was like, oh, because it was 20 questions. So it took me an hour and a half to go through the whole thing. And I was like, I just want to go back to bed. And I went to bed at like I guess a little before 7. And then I got up at noon and I'm like, oh, God, kill me. I mean, you saw me yesterday when you came over, I was dead. And then last night, because I'm a loser, because I'm so tired, I did Fortnite family time because I got to. Then I did my work on the site. And then I was like, well, Friday night's usually the best night for playing games, but I'm going to be a dork and go to bed. So I just went to bed and got up at noon today, and I still feel tired. So that's it. So this week sucked.
Old man.
But old man. But we got shareholder questions and answers for you guys.
Live from your grave.
So here you go. That's where this stuff comes from. Nintendo shareholders asked them a whole bunch of questions, including questions about backwards compatibility. One shareholder says, it's inconvenient that games become unusable when you transition from one game system to the next, like from Wii U to Switch. I'd like to know your thoughts about making digital games purchased for Switch available on the next-gen system. So this guy's trying to be sly and be like, hey, tell me, does your Switch successor let me play Switch games? Nintendo's president says, Nintendo always looks at future hardware specifications from various angles, but I would like to refrain from making any specific comments about future hardware at this time. And then blah, 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 blah. I don't know why you think you're going to be the shareholder to finally make Nintendo crack and give inside information, because it never happens. But people have taken this comment and they're like, Nintendo's not going to do backwards compatibility. No, Nintendo gave the same non-answer that they always give. They're not going to share inside information about their next system until they're ready for the public to know. It doesn't matter if you're a shareholder asking questions at the shareholder meeting. It doesn't matter if you're a journalist at some event. You're not going to get the information. So Nintendo hasn't said anything about backwards compatibility. Will Switch games be playable on the next system? I don't know. We'll all find out together at the same time. The Shafe says koi means no. Yes, that's true. For a company with the oldest back catalog, it's stunning how slow and stingy they are with bringing a literal lifetime's worth of absolute bangers to their consoles. I really don't get it.
Banger.
You could play
After
everything on the
banger.
Wii, and it was amazing. And it's just been less and less over time. Well, I think Nintendo does that cadence very purposefully, because they like to pepper those things in there to slowly entice people and slowly motivate them to join a service or get a platform or experience these retro systems. Because if you just dump all the content at once, that overwhelms people and they don't dig deep enough to see what's really going on there. Plus, that doesn't keep Nintendo in the gaming news. If you're releasing new retro games, let's say, every month on different systems, then that's a new reason to talk about the system. That's a new reason to talk about the service. That's a new reason to talk about what's on the service. And that's a new reason to convince people to get the service. If you just do it all at once, then that's a one and done thing. Yes, you could promote it afterwards, obviously, but it doesn't have the same impact. You do stuff like 4 Genesis games coming out this month, available now. That's a new headline. That's a new reason to remind people of the service. That's a new reason to remind people that they should check out the Switch, blah, blah, a whole bunch of reasons. So they keep that cadence for a reason, because it keeps them on people's mouths. Keep my name out your mouth. Keep my name in your mouth. That's why they do it. Nintendo also says they want to avoid scalping issues with the next system. They know that the Switch had a lot of scalping issues for a lot of years, as did the Wii. And they know it upset people, and they want to try and avoid that this time with whatever follows the Switch. Let me read you the exact quote again from Nintendo's president. Sorry. Regarding countermeasures against reselling when new hardware is released, I believe it is of paramount importance to manufacture and ship units in sufficient quantities to satisfy customer demand. We will also consider whether there are other countermeasures that can be implemented. So there you go. Nintendo's like, we hear you. We don't like the resellers either. We're going to try and stop it. What they're working on, I don't know. But first things first, the most important part is getting enough units out there at launch. And that's the dangerous part, because you never know how popular a system's going to be. You can make sure there's a ton of units at launch and they remain there forever because people just don't have an excitement for the platform. Or it's even bigger than you expected. There's a science to getting in the ballpark, but you're never going to get it right exactly. Kuribo says, limit purchases to verified Nintendo account holders. I'm only half joking. Didn't Sony do that with PS5 pre-orders initially? So they had initial pre-orders that were open to everybody, but a very small amount. But if you were doing if you were pre-ordering through Sony specifically, yes, they were only offering it to PlayStation account holders, whatever they're called over there. So that's how I got an invite, actually. So, yep, that is true. And then finally, we have a little bit from Nintendo on classic Zelda. So if you like classic Zelda games over Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, and you're like, I would like an old school top-down Zelda, or I'd like a Zelda closer to Ocarina of Time or something like that, I wouldn't hold your breath. Mr. Al Newman was asked about this. They were like, you ever think there's going to be another classic-style Zelda? Asked by RTL News. And Newman says this, it's difficult to say anything about the future. That being said, thanks to previous Zelda games, a game like Tears of the Kingdom now exists. This game originated from the ideas that we had in the past. We always try to create something that offers more than previous titles. In that respect, we really aren't concerned about our older games anymore. We prefer to look to the future. I like to hear that. I love hearing, also Nintendo still re-releases games, but yeah, I like to hear the always looking to create something new, certainly. But I do love classic Zelda. I think like a spin-off classic Zelda-esque game would be great. I would love to see that. And I'm talking about top-down Zelda. I'd love to see another one of those brand new. That would be awesome. But it doesn't seem like Nintendo's too interested in that right now. And I can't fault them. They found more success with the Zelda franchise than ever before, thanks to the formula of Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. So yeah, I guess it would be silly for them to do that. You don't want to have your franchise's biggest moments ever and then revert back to gameplay the way it used to be. Not that that wasn't successful, but it wasn't successful to the degree that these games are. So you can't fault them. Rift Silver says, there were a lot of things I loved about Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. Both games had me audibly exclaiming, oh, that's so cool, just due to the nature of how open and interactive everything is. There's definitely aspects of the new formula I don't want them to take away, but I think there's classic elements. I think there's elements of classic games that I'd still like them to lean into harder. Stuff like linear storytelling and more restrictive dungeons I think would do well in the new formula, even if that wasn't what they were going for in Tears of the Kingdom. Move forward, but still take elements from the past where appropriate. And I think they are doing that. Obviously, there's still many elements in Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild that are very traditional Zelda. Like, there's a lot of stuff in there. It's just that there's so many mechanics that are brand new that, those things fall to the background.
I forgot to tell you, I was at Barnes & Noble yesterday, and there was a little boy who was sitting in the most random place because there was an outlet and he was playing Tears of the Kingdom at Barnes & Noble. And I was like, oh man,
Nice.
like good for his family for being like, yeah, you want to play your game? Like, fine, we're looking for books. It was pretty great.
Did you say anything to him?
No, I'm a stranger. I don't talk to children. I shouldn't be talking to children. Although, when my mother and I were looking for paint.
Although, here's an example of where I said something to a kid.
There was a young man, very young man, little boy. He wasn't a young man. He was a little boy. And he was looking at paint colors. His mom was like letting him and his sister like look at paint colors. And he picked one out and it was just called Adonis. And I'm like looking at colors and he's looking at the colors and he was like, do you like this color? And I looked at it and I was like, it's called Adonis. And he was like, what's that? And I was like, Adonis is like a really handsome guy. And he was like, yeah, this is my color. It was horrible. It was like this like electric blue, awful color, but it was great. He was like, yeah, Adonis, it's my color.
Nice.
His mom was like, oh boy, here we go. It was pretty great. Adonis.
MomBrain, what have you been playing?
I just played a little Penny and Flow yesterday, but that is it.
Okay. Deux.
Ooh, I played some Tears of the Kingdom. I've got about 4 shrines left all in the sky, chipping away at them because I'm scared. I'm like right at the end. But I don't know. We'll see. Still fun, still great. The flying around the sky and looking for shrines has been fun. And I played some of that Pikmin 4 demo.
Oh, do tell.
It's great. I don't know. I think I just played Pikmin 3 Deluxe so recent that I wasn't that excited for this Pikmin 4. But once I started playing the demo, I just fell right back into that feeling that Pikmin gives you. It's just so wonderful, and it gives you a great feeling. And I think I was worried after, Tears of the Kingdom, what I was going to play and if I was going to even be able to love again. You know what I mean? And this demo was great. I didn't want it to end. I didn't want to stop playing it. I was like, you know what? This is definitely going to be the game that gets me through my postpartum Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
So,
we could tag team talk about this since we both played it. I played the demo as well. I finished the demo, and I felt the same way. Like I didn't want it to end. I was like seeing treasures, and I'm like, so the demo has a limit of like if you collect treasures that have a value of 1,500, was it sparklium or whatever? I don't remember what it's called. Then your demo ends at the end of that day. And I was like, maybe I won't get that treasure. Maybe I'll look over here. But I didn't do that because I was like, I know the demo data carries over to the full game. But I was like, I don't want to forget like that I went down this pipe and left like a pocket watch down there that I didn't collect, but I did everything else. So I just collected everything as I went. But I played that demo in one sitting. And I couldn't stop playing. I played it for like 3 hours. I loved it. I loved that demo so much.
it was a real good chunk of gameplay too. You got to.
Well, I mean, I guess technically you have the whole first stage. As long if you're not collecting treasures, you could go see and do everything. But man, it made the wait for the game so much harder because I think Ochi's inclusion is fantastic.
Yeah,
I love
me
riding that
too.
dog thing around and having all your Pikmin jump on the back and crashing through stuff. That addition makes such a big difference just for movement and getting around. And
I love charging into an enemy and the Pikmin on his back
Yes.
after he hits him jump onto the enemy. It's great.
yes, I really like it, and I like that you can level up his abilities. Like he'll be able to swim and stuff and get stronger and all that. I really, really liked the demo a lot. It's very clear that Nintendo is trying to make this like the Pikmin that breaks through, because this Pikmin game, I think more than any other besides the first one, really like explains what's going on. Like it's like a longer intro period where you get really taught everything. And I'm like, I know Pikmin, I don't need this stuff, but
I think that's also what threw me off last week when I was kind of criticizing the trailer, and I was like, it didn't really do it for me. But that it was probably because the intro was like, this is a Pikmin, and they show you in the trailer, and I was like, this is the fourth installment. Like, let's move along here. Show me something new. But once you get it in your hands and you're walking around and playing, and the music and the noises, all the sound effects in this game are all so satisfying and cute and awesome. And oh my god, when the Pikmin do their little chants, and
like when you were walking, did that happen in other games?
I don't remember if it did or not, but like if you're walking around with them and you don't really have a task set to them and you're walking around for a while, they start like doing like a little song.
Because they did that, and I was like, you could in the chat, you could tell us if we're wrong, but I don't ever remember that happening. Because when they did it this time, I was like, this is great. They're like walking around and is singing like just a song behind you, and I was like, oh, this is just a neat little something to add atmosphere to the game. I really like that. I love the underground sections. And you can tell they're going to be different themes. Like there's ones that are very mechanical and ones that are just like dirt and stuff like that. You know what I really liked? I liked the ice Pikmin and the water freezing mechanic.
Yeah, that was cool.
I love that. So you can take ice Pikmin and throw them in water, and it'll have a number. It'll be like you need 10 of them. And if you throw 10 of them in the water turns to ice, and the Pikmin stay in the water. Like your frozen ones stay there.
Right?
They're fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So then you can take your rest of your Pikmin and Ochi and walk across the water and go do stuff. And then when you call the Pikmin back, the water slowly thaws out, and it'll be like the water's about to break, or the ice is about to break, and then the water turns back to normal. And I was like, this is a really cool idea. I like the way that they handled that. I just loved all of it. I loved everything. When I first started the demo, I just sat on the title screen because I was like, this song is so nice. This song's really just straightforward piano song and just a very slow flyby of the area that you start off in the game. I loved it. The demo, I mean, if you're not a Pikmin fan or you haven't played a Pikmin, I really think this demo will sell you on it. I'm sure some people might be thrown off by the pacing in the beginning of the demo because it does hold your hand through teaching you what everything is. And as we said, we know Pikmin, so we don't need all that. But then the game really does open up and let you do your own thing. And the demo is tough because I was enjoying it so much. I'm like, I want to go here. I want to do this. I want to see that. And I'm watching my number creep up. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be the last day if I pick this thing up. And I'm like, I remember picking up something. I was like, is this going to put me over I picked up like a skateboard. And I was like, is this going to push me over the limit? And I had like 20 Sparklium left or whatever it's called. And I was like, all right, I got one more thing I can collect, but that's going to be the end of it. Loved it. Loved all of it. I was very excited for the game already. Now my excitement's at a whole new level. I need it. It's just it was so good. I played it so long. Like I played it all in that one sitting and I couldn't stop that. When I stopped, I realized I had a massive headache and I was like dying. I felt like garbage, but I never felt it while I was playing the game. I felt a little tired. I was like, should I quit here? And I was like, I don't really want to quit. And then I turned the game off after the demo ended. And I was like, am I dying? Do I have to call in? I just felt horrible. But just overtired. So,
well, and then after the demo's over, you get a little QR code, and you get to ride Ochi in Pikmin Bloom, the app. So I actually
get like a really nice space outfit too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I actually went for a walk today for the first time in like 2 weeks because of that.
Because Ochi needed a walk.
Yeah, because that silly dog.
I got my QR code saved. I meant to ask you to take a picture of your Spacefarer. I wanted to see what your guy looks like.
Oh, he looks like Steve Harvey. So I made him black, and I gave him a purple mustache, and I named him Steve. There wasn't enough room, so I named him Steve HRVY.
Oh,
and like a license plate.
Yeah, and it's just funny when they talk to him because they call him Steve Harvey, and it just tickles me every time.
That's great. Tater Tot, nice to see you. I think Pikmin 1 and 2 are not they're remasters to some degree, like they are in HD, but I don't know, like depends on what you expect from a remaster. I'd say still very faithful to the original, but brought up to HD. So but yeah, now, like we said last week, now's the perfect time. Pikmin 1, 2, 3 Deluxe are all available on Switch. The demo for 4 is out. Your save data carries over. Give it a shot, man. Loved it. Knew I was going to like the game. Loved it even more than I thought. It looks great. It plays great. It sounds great. It's everything I love about Pikmin. The areas are so dense. That first area, you look at it at first and you're like, oh, this is a small area. And there's so much to do and explore and see. Plus, enemies randomly pop out of the ground sometimes. And you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do here?
It's so satisfying, the collecting and the amassing a Pikmin horde and exploring and having them with you. It's just very, very addicting.
Yeah.
Fixing little bridges and things like that is very addicting.
And it's like soothing. Like, it's addicting and it's fun, but it's like not pressure and like, ugh.
I love the material that you collect that's basically clay, and you're going to use that, I would imagine, for multiple things. You use it for a bridge in the demo, but you take it like it's not like you collect parts of a bridge. You collect the material and it gets turned into things that you use to repair later on, and you go back to your ship to have your Pikmin take it out and fix stuff. I really like that idea. Plus, you use that material to do something else. You spend it on like leveling up something, or
I think you spend it on items.
Items,
like
that's what it is.
Little items, or
so
like
I like
power-ups
that, like a what's the word? Like a currency that's used in multiple ways to build things and to buy things. I thought that was cool. Tentavision posted a picture of their avatar in the Discord, and they say their name is Bone Poco, and I love them. Bone Poco looks pretty great.
Nice.
I really like this one.
Aww.
My guy's got I'd have to show it to you. He's got like little squinty eyes and a big blue tuft of hair, and he's wearing green. What color are you wearing?
Green.
Both green. We both did it.
Well, it's the
Is your
coolest
OG's
color, though.
collar green as well?
Well, it's the
Is your
coolest color,
OG's
though.
collar green as well?
Ochi's collar's green.
I guess it
and
does
all the
that.
crewmates
Yeah.
wear green, and the
Guess
ship
it
has
does
a
that.
green highlight as well.
And I love the fact that you're not just finding other captains from ships.
Me
You're
too.
finding other people that
Regular
came
people.
to find Olimar. That's great. I love it. Spoiler alert, Olimar has been marooned.
Well, that's the only thing that bugs me is even Nintendo knows everyone wants Olimar because they have all these NPCs trying to find Olimar, and they're like, "You're not going to be Olimar." But I didn't mind because being Steve Harvey is still pretty great.
I do like the fact that you get to be. It's not like you got a ton of customization, but I do like that you get to make your own little character this time. I thought that was fun.
It's a little belated for me to bring it up, but Solid Master Link made a point to post that my numbers aren't good for summer vacation gaming. Got to pump those numbers up. Those are rookie
Yours?
numbers. Yeah, like
Yeah,
I was like,
know.
oh, I just
They're
played
at
this.
0.
Yeah, well, Penny and Flow counts.
I know, but I mean new stuff. You haven't played anything.
Yeah, well,
Literally
I mean,
0.
look, in my defense, school ended, my mother visited, and I'm just now.
After
Been
excuse
busy.
after excuse.
Well,
You play Stray.
What's your
That's
first
nice and
game?
easy.
I think Zelda on vacation. I think I got to start Zelda on vacation.
You're just going to go into Tears of the Kingdom without finishing Breath of the Wild?
Oh, maybe I should finish Breath of the Wild.
You don't even remember where you were or what you were doing.
So who cares?
I'm just asking. I would argue
I was
start
looking
fresh.
for that, trying to figure out how to deal with that dragon in the sky.
Dragon.
Well, anyway, you play anything else?
No, sir. I downloaded the Final Fantasy 16 demo in preparation, but I didn't start it or anything.
Okay.
News to come. RMC, what have you played, my friend?
Perfect segue, because I also downloaded the Final Fantasy 16 demo and played it and liked it enough to buy the game. So I've been playing Final Fantasy 16. Not anywhere near as much as I would like because I've been so tired.
Read all about it. RMC likes a game.
Well, I didn't see. To be fair, I didn't know if I would like it.
True,
because I'm not all about the action direction for it. I was like, let me try the demo.
Yeah, no, this is actually an interesting one because it's not really a cut and dry
more
RMC
action than ever
like it game. Yeah.
So I downloaded the demo.
And the game's out, right? Is it not?
I bought it. Yeah, it's out. It's been out for
came out
a week.
People like it.
A week and a half. People do like it. It's getting very well reviewed, but people are not buying it. It sold 3 million so far. Not bad.
People aren't buying it. That's interesting, right? Didn't all the other Final Fantasies sell like crazy?
Well, they did and they didn't. Like Final Fantasy 15, I believe, was the fastest selling. It was shot out at like 5 million out of the gate. I don't know where it arrived at the end. But I remember seeing articles about Square Enix being worried because people weren't really pre-ordering this one to the degree that they thought, which is why they put out the demo, and the demo went over really well. But it's at 3 million sold right now. So not a flop. I'm not saying that at all. Not bad sales. I'm not saying that. But certainly seems like people aren't like clamoring for this one. So I don't know. The demo sold me on it. I liked the demo. But
are people finally getting bored of the brooding, emo, handsome Scarface characters as the
I mean, like, I wouldn't say the guy's brooding at all. Like, the main character, there's an element of brooding to him, but I actually really like the main character, which was one of the reasons why I enjoyed the demo so
fully
much.
Voice acted.
He is. Everybody's fully voiced. I mean, Final Fantasy's been like that for a long time, since like PS2 days, as far as I remember. Most of the characters, anyway. Salamaster Link, good question. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. He asked if that 3 million included digital numbers. I don't know. I think Square Enix announced that the game sold 3 million, so I would take that to be both digital and physical. But don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. I'll look into it, or one of you guys can and update me. The main character, he's a nice guy. He's I'm trying not to spoil things, but he's got depth to him. Something happens where it sours him, but he's still a nice guy. Like he's mad at something in particular, but he doesn't take that out on other people. So he's not like dark and brooding. He's got something to be upset about and he wants to see it through, but he still treats others with respect and is helpful and nice and gets along. Sid in this game, Sid's in every Final Fantasy, just a different guy
Spoiler.
named Sid. Sid in this game, the voice actor is unbelievable, and it's because of his voice. The man has the deepest voice I've ever heard in my life. Like,
Man.
I don't know what's going on with the guy. I don't know who the voice actor is, but he's amazing. Like, you listen to the man's voice and you're like, how is this a natural speaking voice? It's crazy. But I did have fun with the demo enough to play the game. I am enjoying the game. It's just, see, it's hard for me to talk about because I can't speak about, like, I've been a Final Fantasy fan all my life because I haven't. But, you know, seeing Final Fantasy, which was so rooted in turn-based battles for so long, now go so far in the other direction of action. I can't have ownership of the Final Fantasy franchise as a fan being like, that's not how it used to be. It shouldn't be this way anymore, because it'd be like a fake fan situation. I'm coming into appreciation of Final Fantasy in recent years because I'm not scared of RPGs anymore. So I will say, from that
I'm not
perspective,
afraid anymore.
from that perspective, it's a bit odd to see them go from the, like, turn-based traditional RPG mechanics to where they are now, because this is, oh, sure, you're casting spells and stuff. You're going up and hitting characters. That's all you're doing. Like, you're not like going into menus to choose things. It's just like, this button does a fire spell, this button does a lightning spell, or whatever.
But the story's got to be good. You like the story so far?
I do like the story. And they said their inspiration was not Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. And boy, is it, because this very much plays out like Game of Thrones. It's like a kingdom and warring kingdoms and, you know, subterfuge and killing important royalty. Like, it's a Game of Thrones, very much. And when I think of Final Fantasy, again, I can't take ownership of the franchise. I'm just telling you my feelings. Seeing it so, now there's magic, obviously. There's magic and creatures and all that stuff.
Magic.
But seeing it so grounded and not more fantasy, like is in the name. Like, there's fantasy here, don't get me wrong. This is 100% fantasy. But I don't know, to see it like so closely go for a Game of Thrones and not dabble more in the fantasy and whimsy and stuff, I'm like, it's a little disappointing to me because I feel it's a little drab. I don't know, but I am interested in the story. Like, I see the moving pieces and I see what's going on, and I'm intrigued in what's going to happen. The combat is fun and flashy, but right now it's a little one note. You know, you're mashing the square button over and over again, and then when your other things cool down and recharge,
fun,
you throw in a fire spell or you throw in a whatever, and then it's just square, dodge, square, dodge, like kind of like old God of War, which I liked because that's what God of War was built on. And for me, it's just strange to see Final Fantasy be like that. I don't think it's bad. I'm not saying it's wrong. It is fun, but, you know, I'm like, man, they really, like, it feels like they're like whittling down Final Fantasy to be more for the everyman. To be like, this is something anybody can play and they won't be worried about it and they can handle it. It's a dodge, it's an attack, and there's some spells thrown in there, and that's it. Like, you know, a Game of Thrones style game with action that's very easy to understand and play. And that's it. So it's just odd. Like, when I think Final Fantasy, I'm like, oh, this is a bit of a shame, because they're like doing away with mechanics and ideas and approaches and stuff that I thought suited or made Final Fantasy what it was. There are certainly things here that are Final Fantasy. It's just I don't know. I feel like they're stripping things away to get to a more it's the Ryan Seacrest of Final Fantasy games is what I'm getting at. There you go.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
But
at
I
all.
am having fun. See, the problem is, if I just take out its connection to Final Fantasy and I play the game, I'd be like, oh, this is a fun game. Like, this is enjoyable. I really like this. But when I'm playing it, I am enjoying it and thinking all those things. But I'm like, is this Final Fantasy?
Is it like Elden Ring or something? Gameplay? Just not as difficult?
No, it's like God of War. Like you walk into areas with enemies and you fight them. It's like
So
God
it's
of
not
War.
really open world. It's kind of you kind
It's
of
not open world at all so far. No,
Okay.
you have a map and you go to the map spots and then you go in.
okay.
It's like a little forest area. You go fight in, go through linear, and then you're done. You go to a town where you talk to some people and do a little sub thing, and then that's it. Yeah, it's no open world now. I don't know how open world it gets later on, but yeah. Also, what a culture shock going from Tears of the Kingdom to this, because
I bet.
you can't climb up this little wall and you can't jump over this little fallen tree, and I'm like,
Oh
oh
my god!
man.
Oh my god!
And
Why?
it just makes that pill harder to
I'm
swallow.
in a glass case of emotion.
Yeah.
I can't. I feel like I'm trapped.
You fight alongside a dog. That's cool. I like the dog. He's fun. I'm saying a lot of stuff where it sounds like I'm wishy-washy. I'm not wishy-washy on the game itself. I am having fun. The music's fantastic, by the way. Music's fantastic. So that's really good.
Fully
It's
orchestrated.
just, yeah, almost all of it. Yeah. You know what else? This is just a me thing. I like it in the corner of the menu screens. They have characters. They have artwork to represent your characters, but they're in classic Final Fantasy pixel style. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. Just
That's very nice.
nice little nod to this franchise's history. I like that. Doesn't mean anything, but
It doesn't do anything.
if I was playing this and it wasn't a Final Fantasy game, I'd be like, this is fun. I really like this. This is cool. But as I'm playing it and I know it's a Final Fantasy game, I'm like, is this Final Fantasy? But again, I acknowledge it's not right for me to ask that because I don't have as many touchstones with the franchise. But I think I know overall Final Fantasy stuff. So
Is it kind of like Crisis Core? You know, where you go to an area and you walk around and you get into fights, and it's not really like. I guess you have to approach the enemy to engage the combat, but it doesn't really like stop everything. You know,
I mean, really, I can't liken it to anything better than a God of War. It plays exactly like a God of War. You have different weapons. You walk into areas that have enemies, and the fight begins. And it's more like you'll walk in enemies. You can see enemies off in the distance, and like when you get closer, then they'll engage. Or it's not like there's random encounters or anything like that. It's God of War. It's God of War. I don't need to say it any more than that.
Is it you don't have like a Cadillac in this one, do you? Or
Not
do you
yet.
have horses or anything?
Not yet. No, just me walking around with a dog and Sid right now.
Okay.
I'm only technically, I guess I'm 4 hours in because I carried over the save demo data. So I'm 4 hours in. I'm about to go to some castle. I won't say specifics, but I'm going into a castle at night to do something big. I was excited for it, but I was too tired to play anymore, so I stopped. Devil May Cry. Yeah, that's a great one. Tendivision says Devil May Cry. It's like Devil May Cry, except not as flashy in terms of what I can do so far. I'm sure that'll change, but again, I'm trying to stress, I'm not knocking the game at all. It's just making me wonder what Final Fantasy is. And this game makes me think Square Enix is trying to decide what Final Fantasy is as well. Because they can do all the spin-offs and that's not a problem. But when you come to mainline Final Fantasy, what is it? And I think Square is trying to figure that out. So there you go. Play the demo.
May I interject?
Sure.
When Deux made that Home Alone reference before, it reminded me when I was at Target the other day, you can buy a Lego set of the Home Alone house.
Oh, wow. That's
How awesome is that?
That would be one to get.
Right? It was really cool.
And it can double as a holiday decoration.
Exactly.
Anastasia, I did play Soulstorm. I liked it. I went to go play again for review on the Switch, and I had it save or ruin my save data twice. So I came to a bit of an impasse. But I played it on PS5, and I did enjoy it. Okay, so I played that. There's a game I played 2 weeks ago that I keep forgetting to mention. I played Grimace's Birthday. As soon as I found out that game came out, I played it. For those who don't know, McDonald's, in honor of Grimace's birthday, they did the Grimace Shake, which I'm sure you're familiar with. But they also commissioned a brand new Game Boy Color game and put it out for free. If you have a flash cartridge for your Game Boy Color, you can put this ROM on your flash cartridge and play it on your actual Game Boy. It's built to specifications of the Game Boy Color. But I played it I played the browser version. It's Grimace, and he's getting friends together for his birthday. And in one level you skateboard, or you skateboard, and then you're jumping around the rooftops of a building, and it's all to get to your friends. So you meet, what's her name? The bird lady.
Oh, I don't.
And the McNuggets.
I know Hamburglar, and I know
Hamburglar,
Grimace.
you see him. You know the bird lady. She's got the
No,
pigtails.
I know. I just don't know her name.
Yeah.
Birdie?
Birdie says Tater Tot and Television. There you go. So I played it. It was fun. It took me, I don't know, it took me like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It's not a long game, but such a cool idea to do something like that. And obviously, us 90s kids know those characters the most because they were on all of the commercials when we were kids. So yeah, you make a new Game Boy Color game to do that. I played well, great music. There's one level that's got a song that's a remix of the McDonald's theme, the ba da ba ba ba. I'm loving it. It's a remix of that. It's really good. Like it plays with, because the whole song, it's one of those songs where you think it's its own song, but then it interjects some notes. It does like the ba da ba 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 in part of the song, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then they do it again for the other part of the song. I wish I like recorded the song, and soundtrack might be on YouTube or something, but really liked that song. But yeah, it's a free game. It's fun. It feels just like a Game Boy Color game. It was fun. I liked it. You go around levels and you collect milkshakes and you avoid enemies. That's it.
Sounds good
stuff.
to me.
So I played that. I'm playing a game I can't talk about that I really want to talk about. I mentioned it to you on the side. It's a game coming to Switch this month, not first party. And it's so much better than I thought it was going to be, and I thought it was going to be good. It's really good. I've been really impressed with it. So I look forward to that. Now, what else? I think that might be it. The Pikmin demo, Final Fantasy, Grimace game. Played Fortnite as always, had fun there. Played a thing I can't talk about.
Ooh.
And then I think that was it. Yeah, I think I'm good. Oh, that is sexy, Anastasia. Yeah, look at that. Look at that, Ice Dilbert. That's a great screen. Look at how cool Grimace looks there. And he's wearing protective gear too. Good for you, Grimace. There you go. All right, let's do questions. Send your questions to goninpod@gmail.com.
Where?
GoNinpod@gmail.com. They can be about Nintendo, video games in general, or whatever the hell you want. Rosemary the Farmer says, hello, dear pod friends. Simple one for you today.
Hello.
What is the last song you had stuck in your head? What's the last song you had stuck in your head, MomBrain? Or do?
Sometimes I'm alone.
The cat's
Sometimes
TikTok.
I'm not.
That's really funny because they say, alternatively, what's the last TikTok sound you couldn't get rid of? And there you go. That's it. Same answer for both. The cat song, Sometimes I'm Alone, Sometimes I'm Round, or whatever.
Well, there's two.
Yeah.
So there's sometimes I'm a loaf, sometimes I'm round.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's sometimes I'm alone, sometimes I'm not.
Mm-hmm. Do a song you can't get out of your head, or a TikTok noise you can't get out of your head?
I can't think of one at the moment. Yeah, I don't have one off the top of my head. Sorry.
There's a song I can't get out of my head, but it's a song we don't even know if it's real, and it's from my cousin. My cousin, this is different from my song that I don't know if it's real. Yeah, my cousin says she has this song in her head. She doesn't know if it's real, and she can't figure it out. And it goes like this. Bula ba ba, bula ba 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 ba. She doesn't know what it is, and that's the only part she remembers. And she's been singing it, and now it's stuck in my head, and now I want to know what it is. So that's the thing that's stuck in my head. TikTok sound I couldn't get out of my head. I mean, we do TikTok noises all the time. I'm trying to think of what I do like most often. TikTok sound. I mean, it wasn't, we didn't see it on TikTok, but obviously this glonky guy showing up on TikTok made it stick with us more.
I say no good all the time.
The leave me alone thing from Akira that's on TikTok, I think about a lot too. Leave me alone with the mind flashbacks. No! I love that. So there you go. That's what's going on in our heads right now. MomBrain, we also have a Patreon question.
Oh, yeah?
Do you know you can join the Patreon?
For $1.
For $1. Thank you, Billy. Again, name of Austin joined the Patreon. He's back again with another question. By the way, again, follow him on YouTube at any_Austin. Look up his unemployment series on games. It's Skyrim unemployment video. It's so good. So let me just go through it very quickly. He goes in video games. He goes to towns. He finds the people in the town, and he tries to decipher if they have a job or not. And then he measures the unemployment rate in that city.
That's amazing.
It's great because some of them are working at shops, so they're obviously employed. Other ones stand around and don't do anything. So he literally gets far enough away that they're not looking at him, so they go on their NPC loop, and he follows them to see where they walk and what they do. It's amazing. That's just one of his series. Again, follow him on or find him on YouTube at any_Austin. And that's his unemployment series, but he's got Holding Breath series, and I watch all of his videos, and now I'm blanking on everything else.
I like the ones where he goes to strange, nondescript places in video games.
Yep, go check out his stuff. Great videos, great guy, great musician. It's just great all around. He asks, not to create controversy, but what is everyone's quick hit best and worst game from the following Nintendo franchises? WarioWare, number 1. Worst WarioWare. Jesus, I don't know. There's never been. If we're just talking mainline, there's none that I don't like.
Yeah, I'm not familiar enough to know
me
any
either.
differences, really.
I don't know if we're counting like the spin-off ones, like the Wii U one and stuff like that. Whatever the Wii U one was called, I might go with that, and it's only because it had so little content compared to the other ones. But I still had a lot of fun with it. There's no WarioWare game that I don't like. My favorite, Smooth Moves. That's an easy one to answer, which is why I'm so excited, because we're getting the successor to that one. All right. Star Fox. Again, you're looking only at me, because don't have fans here.
Star Fox Adventures.
Star Fox, the original, is my favorite. Star Fox on the GameCube, whatever that's called. I don't remember. It's not Adventures.
Starwing.
The other one. Assault or Armada, whatever it was called. I don't know why I can't ever remember that. That one on the GameCube, I thought it was okay, but I didn't really like it. So that's an easy one for me. Wii Blank. Now there we might have some answers. You guys got a favorite Wii Blank game?
What is that?
Or at least favorite?
We Fit, We Play.
We Fit, We Play, We Sports Resort, We Party, We Fit Plus, We...
Man.
I gotta say We Fit is up there because it was so cool and new and fresh at the time.
Are we doing favorites or least favorites?
Both.
Yeah, We Fit was cool at the time. Thought it was cool that it, the balancing and the keeping track and stuff. Because it's a little insensitive with the overweight stuff now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That Wii Sports is just so classic.
Yeah.
But it's not the best. It's just, I don't know.
I'm bringing up the list. Wii Sports Resort, Wii Sports Club. Well, we're not counting it. We Play Motion, Wii Fit Plus, Wii Fit U, Wii Party U, Wii Chess, Wii Music, Wii Street U, and Wii U Panorama View.
Man, there's a lot of those. I've never even played half of them.
So my favorite is Wii Party or Wii Party U. Those games were awesome. The Wii Party collection of games, I know it's similar to Mario Party, but I would say it's way better. I love those Wii Party games. Whatever one had that game where you were rolling all the dice to get across the bridge. Oh my God, I love that game. So good. So Wii Party or Wii Party U is my favorite. Least favorite, probably Wii Music. It was a cool experiment, but I wasn't going to sit down to play it. Sebastian Toot. Yeah, of course. Greatest character in gaming ever. So there's our answers for that one. And Mario Sports. Man.
Oh, you guys played the heck out of Strikers.
Yeah, I really like Strikers. The first or the second one, I don't know. It could probably be either of those. But although I also loved Toadstool Tour, the golf game on GameCube. Least favorite it would be DS Mario Hoops 3-on-3, whatever that was from Nintendo and Square. Just I don't know. I didn't really care for that game. I'm not a big basketball fan either, so didn't do it for me. You guys favorite Mario sports title or least favorite Mario sports?
I don't think I've
title?
ever played one.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Strikers is probably the one I played the most.
I think I played golf. I might have played a golf once upon a time.
There you go. That's all I got for you. I'm sorry, Austin. I tried. And now we have music,
Yeah, now.
and it has been
You-
achieved
You want to hear it?
as promised. You guys hit your goal. Well, I think we're almost at 350 now. So you did it. 10 songs from here until the end of time. You made it happen. Or I should say until we don't have any more songs, which will probably take a year. So there you go, MomBrain. You're doing 10 songs today.
Well, before we do that, I have bad game descriptions, which we were normally doing before music, correct?
Sure, if you got one, we'll do it.
I've got several. Let me just make sure.
Just one email, like not.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the oldest one. I want to make sure Okay, so Radical Defect / Master Higgins sent us 5.
Thank you.
Okay, so the first one. Amnesiac robot takes down a healthcare worker for the sake of some bunnies.
Wow. Amnesiac robot takes down healthcare workers for the sake of some bunnies. With all these odd combinations, you would think that'd be easy to come up with the answer. What game has a robot?
Was Chibi Robo an amnesiac?
That is not the game.
No. What game has robots? Bunch of healthcare workers? It's not Near Automata.
It is not.
Man, right off the bat, you stumped us. Oh, this was a game we played with the chat.
Rabbids?
Nope.
Rayman says Blood Ocean,
Mm-mm.
and Rabbids is another guess, another Rabbids game.
Mm-mm.
We're all drawing a blank here.
The answer is Cave Story.
Oh God, it's true. Yes. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, damn it. I should. And man, I was just watching something about Cave Story this week. I'm a sham.
Here comes a new one. Red and blue defeat black, orange, and pink to save green and stop gold and silver.
Oh my God. This is a Pokemon game?
No.
Red and blue. Power Rangers?
No.
Runbow says Tentavision? Yeah, I thought a Runbow.
Mm-mm. Red and blue defeat black, orange, and pink to save green and stop gold and silver.
Oh, Malik Halo, I think, might have it. He says Gunstar Heroes.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah, damn it. As soon as you said it, I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, all the colors in Gunstar Heroes. I should have thought
It's
of
the
that.
characters' names. I don't know why I didn't think of that right away. Man, that sucks. And I love treasure games. 2 in a row, I'm a sham.
Treasure.
If only we could do another.
All right. The next one is boy gets the best sleep of his life on some driftwood in the ocean.
Life of Pi, the game.
Not quite.
What the hell? Why are these so good?
Link's Awakening.
Yes.
Hey, there you go. I guess that's true. That's what happens. Or did it? Or did it?
Spoiler.
Oh. All right. The next one is a hamster breathes fire on this quest to save a possessed king.
What? Jushu Pets.
No. Do you have Ham? A hamster breathes fire.
Is it a Kirby game?
It is.
I don't remember what Kirby game it is.
I mean, we'll give it to you.
Okay.
It's Kirby's Dream Land 2.
Curb.
Oh, Tentavision got it.
Oh, nice.
Drake said it.
Okay. And the last one is Eco-terrorists snowboard down a mountain and inadvertently cause the world to end. Don't worry, they fix it.
This sounds like something I should get right away.
Sounds like a Jeopardy question, doesn't it?
Eco-terrorists snowboard down a mountain.
And inadvertently cause the world to end. Don't worry, they fix it.
I got nothing. Oh,
What?
the chat has it Final Fantasy VII.
Yes.
Oh man, of course.
Man, why didn't we get that?
That's funny.
Damn it.
Yeah, that's
Chat's on it. Chat's on it.
That's
Good
really
for you
really
guys.
good. Dang it.
Drake, Solamaster, 10th Division, Darmani. Good for you guys.
I don't think like my brain doesn't think about it rationally. I'm always off thinking too hard about something else.
Hey, I mean, I didn't get it either. I was thinking like they said 1080 snowboarding or SSX tricky, but I'm
Yeah,
like,
of
I don't know the
course.
stories in those games. So
All right.
I got music. You want to hear it? You want to hear it? Oh.
Very nice. And we already did our spiel, right? About where to send it.
GoNinPod@gmail.com. Please put music in the title. GoNinPod@gmail.com.
I will.
This first one comes from Guy Bones.
Super Nintendo? GBA.
Super Nintendo.
Oh, okay. Just bad. I recognize this.
Yep. I don't know if you played the game, but you do recognize this.
That I'm trying to place that horn.
Is it a Final Fantasy
No.
Chronic Trigger?
No.
Is it Squaresoft? I don't even know that it's them. Yeah.
Secret of Mana?
No.
This one's gonna hurt. Go ahead.
The Lion King.
Yeah. Yep.
Great song.
This one comes from Jess I. One moment, please.
Is this one moment advertisement?
Yes.
I don't know what the hell this is.
Apparently you don't. Sorry.
I don't know what system.
GameCube.
I was gonna say that this has a 2000s era, and I should have said it.
Yeah, this is good. I don't know.
I don't know. Something Capcom.
I don't know.
We said we don't know.
You're done.
Yeah.
All finished.
Custom Robo.
I never played it, so I don't feel bad. Is everything all right over here?
Yeah, we're getting an order, and I just want to make sure, like, that they're not, being weird. All right. So the next song comes from Storbus Corvin. Who also says, this is a very 90s piece of piano music for your piano podcast.
What system?
Super Nintendo.
Wow. Impressive.
I will tell you that it says on the front of the box, high-tech terror in full Dolby surround sound.
This does sound
I
terrifying.
don't think that really gives it away.
Movie-based game?
I don't think so.
Would be nice to get one song right, but I also don't know this. Do you got anything?
No.
It is Super Turrican.
I never played Super Turrican. And I know people really love those Turrican games. I just never played any of them.
All right. This one comes from Stephanie.
Urkel?
Oh, this is Metroid Prime.
You got it.
There we go. We got one of them.
Great job.
Vendrana Drifts.
Yeah. Look at you. All right. This one comes from the artist formerly known as Hylian Hero LOZ, now known as HH Big Boss.
Thank you, Big Boss. Can you turn it up? Oh, it's definitely Super Nintendo.
Yes.
Man, we're getting destroyed this time.
Good one.
I really don't have any guess at all.
I got nothing.
Some sports game or some punching game.
King of the Monsters on the Super Nintendo.
Punching. Yep.
Punching.
There you go.
This one comes from our pal, Jet Jaguar.
Focus all attacks.
J-Jag.
No More Heroes.
Yes.
Cool.
I got that one. There we go.
Is it just regular No More Heroes?
Yes. On the Wii.
I would have never.
It's like a training or
this.
something.
Blaster Nation.
It's not even in. It's not even in my recesses of my memory anywhere.
Definitely. I don't know why that one sticks out so much, but it does.
All right. Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm keeping good track here. How many do we have?
This will be 8.
Okay. This one comes from Wired.
Oh, another breakbeat. Is this 2000s as well?
No.
Turn it up, and what's this?
Switch.
Oh. I like it.
Well, as of the sending of this email, it was recently reviewed on the GoNintendo website.
Oh, no. Hopefully I didn't review it. I couldn't have. Am I allowed to go to the site? Man, I like it.
Cat or face.
I don't know. Go ahead.
It was Super Bullet Break on the Switch.
I did not review that, so I'm off the hook.
This song comes from Ask Me. It's coming. Don't worry.
You guys wanted 10 songs? This is what you get. Us not knowing hardly. What a man. Steamrolled. These are tough ones. What's system?
GBA.
It's pretty funky.
All right. Is it first party?
I don't believe so.
I got nothing again.
I don't know.
It was Advance Wars, Black Hole Rising,
Well,
Andy's Anthem.
son of a bitch. What did you say when I asked first party?
I said I don't think so.
It was first party, and I moved away from it. And I know this is going to sound like a lie, but I was going to guess Advance Wars, and
Well.
I didn't.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
I just got to, even when you say you don't think it's first party, I got to guess it anyway.
Exactly. Was that it?
No, this will be it.
Okay.
I'm pissed off, man. I was thinking Advance Wars.
Okay, well, this song comes to us from our pal
Come to us. Come to us.
Geku Kitsune.
Give us one more so we can get it right. I recognize this. Why do I recognize this so much?
Because you played it.
Switch, I guess?
No.
Oh. It's Punch Out. I know, it's Punch Out.
It
Yes,
is.
on the Wii.
Great job.
Wow.
I got there.
Good job.
So we got 3 out of 10.
6 out of 9.
The grand return of 10 songs, we get 3 of them. We're going to summer school with that score.
Well, I'm
Jesus.
teaching summer school, so
Oh, and I got to see you more? Well, there's your 10 songs. Thank you, everybody. Now, remember, we only do 10 songs a week until we run out of songs. So if you want 10 songs to keep going, you got to replenish. We probably got about 32 weeks worth of music in there right now. So you could take that as a call to arms or a time to relax. It's up to you, but when it ends, it ends.
Call those arms.
You got anything for us?
Deux views. It's never news. Rumor of the week starring Deux Michaels. Ladies and gentlemen, Deux views is doing something different this week. Usually I get the ripest, raunchiest, also ripest rumors of every week, every time.
Just to be clear, the ripest, raunchiest, and also ripest.
And also
rumors.
ripest,
Okay.
yes. My little birds are fluttering around finding things for me, my little spiders, and they have found out something very interesting, video game relating to the Wheel of Fortune host.
What is going on here?
Yeah, so turns out it was supposed to be Charles Martinet up there instead of Ryan Seacrest, but he kept having all these crazy, you know what? I was gonna say what it says here on the rumor sheet, but it doesn't make sense because they just got rid of the crazy right winger that was there. So Charles Martinet is not a crazy right winger. He was up for the post, and then he decided, you know what? Let's let Seacrest have this one. And I mean, it's all written right here.
I heard he said, you know what? Good luck to me. And he became a contestant instead.
That's exactly what it says right here. Yeah,
Good luck to me.
that was perfect.
Mr. Martinet, I'm sorry, but that is not the answer to the puzzle.
Hurry up already.
Oh, that's not what I was looking for.
I got it.
No, Mr. Martinet, that's not the answer to the puzzle.
Thank Thank you so much for playing my game.
That's what he would have said as the
say.
host.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
Maybe
he
this
would've
will help
said.
you. I'm sorry, Betty White. That's not the answer to the puzzle.
Oh my God!
Oh my god!
Perfect. Seamless. That's the kind of seamless entertainment you
Anyways.
can expect from this podcast.
Bingo! Ho, 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 ho.
That's funny.
So yeah, so he'll be playing all of his voices. He's the only person playing.
Oh, he's
on
gonna
Seacrest's
I
first
gotcha.
show. He'll be running between all three sections.
So
of the
most
wheel,
people in America
spinning.
will be like, "This is an insane man" on
Yeah,
this show.
yeah. It's a bold move for the first show of the new host. I think it'll work out just
Well, as we know, most of America, when they think of the name Ryan Seacrest, they think bold moves. So that's what we're getting. All right, everybody. That's what we got for you this week. I believe next week's show will be on Friday. Maybe Thursday. I don't know. I got to look at my schedule, but definitely not Saturday because we are going on our yearly vacation to North Carolina. So we will not be around on Saturday for the usual.
Oh, you just doxed yourself.
But, well, in North Carolina, sure. We'll be in the state of North Carolina if that's what we're considering doxing.
They'll find you.
So we got to do the show early. And then I believe last year, instead of forcing the show on Saturday when we got back, we moved it to Sunday, didn't we?
We
And
might
that was
have.
so much better.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we'll be doing this time. So there'll be a Friday show most likely, followed by a Sunday show, a rare Sunday show. But
We could do the podcast, you and me, from the car on the way home.
no, I can't even stay
Imagine.
awake. You know that.
You're gonna have to help me with schoolwork on the ride home.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Let's talk about the ride there on the after show. Let's talk about the ride there because it's so
I
much
gotta
fun.
get groceries from the front step.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We will see you next week, just a day early. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Goodbye.
Combinations on the ride down. I need them.
Ooh,
I've
yeah.
been feeling them. I need combos. I don't know what ones. Classic cheddar pretzel, maybe, or the cracker cheese ones are good. What else is there? Pizza. Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, there's all kinds now. There's like buffalo chicken and all kinds of weirdness.
I don't think I want to do the buffalo one. If somebody asked me to try it, I would.
In
but
a car on a road trip is not the time.
It's not the best flavor.
just excited to go to Wawa and buy like a whole bunch of weird stuff, all kinds of stupid snacks. Oh my god, I love it. Yes, it's true, Drake. Ducks makes donuts now. Yes. There's another, we talked about it last year. I know we did, an amazing ice cream place down there that I can't wait to go to again for their milkshakes and their cookies. Oh my god, so good. I want more of that ice cream cake we had last night.
I was going to bring it up, but I didn't know what the protocol was.
Oh,
it's just the two of you. Someone's got to finish this thing before you guys leave, right?
I'm sure she will give you a slice. Yeah, no problem. I just, I would imagine it's still downstairs, but yeah, that place makes good ice cream cake. I mean, they only do desserts and they're all amazing, but yep, we're doing our North Carolina trip next year. I cannot tell you guys how excited I am for it. Unfortunately, there's going to be an event for me to cover when I'm down there, and stupid ass Pikmin Bloom Community Day is right when we get down there too. So now I got to walk 10,000 steps on the beach when I go. I'm so mad. I'm so mad about it. I knew it was going to happen too.
That's so funny.
And here it is. So, and it's the day, I either do it the day we get down there or the next day. Those are my two options to do it. So,
and you hate walking down there more than you hate walking here?
mm-hmm.
All right.
Walking on the beach is tougher. It's obviously way hotter there. And you're doing it, you're putting on a show for the hundreds and thousands of people on the beach. So it sucks. I got to walk by. I got to stumble over kids and not resist the urge to stomp on their castles. And and now this time I'm going to have to walk down to the pier and back twice. What a load of crap. Ice Dilbert says, I love combos, but Dot's pretzels are pretty tasty. Oh my God, Ice Dilbert, Dot's pretzels are incredible. We have a bag of the blue flavor, whatever it is, Southwestern flavor in the cabinet right now.
Oh, yeah, those are good.
Unbelievable. Those are so good, but all of them, the red ones, the yellow ones, and the blue ones, all delicious. Even the purple ones, although those are the dessert one, like sugar cinnamon. So a little bit of a different category, but you're right, my friend. Dots are the best. Hylian Tom says, I went to the beach last week and felt bad for not giving Link sand boots. Walking on the sand sucks. It does. It really does. And I remember thinking that every day last year, how much it sucked more than walking on a sidewalk. But I could walk on the sidewalk, but it's such a small sidewalk. Plus, everybody going to the beach is walking on it. So I'd be dodging people like literally the whole time. Whereas on the beach, I can, there's people on the beach looking at you the whole time, but there's stretches where you can walk without being on top of people. But you do have to deal with people. But whatever. Curse of being alive. You got to deal with people. That's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We will see you next week, Friday. Hang out with friends and family, play some games, rest, relax. You deserve it. And we'll see you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Big bumping.